All right, hello everyone. All right, we are on emergency coverage right here with Advective weather. There is an extremely dangerous situation that's currently unfolding right now. Big time tornado on the ground here. Now, we can't currently see it given this view, but there is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado that's heading towards Cole right now. Again, it's a large, damaging, dangerous tornado heading in the general direction of Cole. So if we know anyone there in Cole, we need to get them to a safe place right now. There's no PDS warning on this. It's radar indicated, but there is definitely a damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground. And there it is. There's the PDS tornado warning. That is a weather spotters confirmed tornado. That is a large tornado. I'm going to pull up on YouTube, and you guys can do this too. If you want to see it, Reed Timmer is on this storm. So if you want to go and pull up Reed Timmer's stream, he has this. He actually has a really good look at it. There is a big stovepipe tornado on the ground right now, heading straight for Cole. Again, it's heading straight for Cole. So if you are in Cole, it's time to get to your safe place right here, right now. Let's see here what's going on with this. This is moving 30 miles per hour. This is a large and extremely dangerous tornado near Cole right now, and this thing is big. This thing is big. It's got a big time velocity signature. We're going to go with 35 miles per hour to be safe here, but if you're in Cole, this thing is basically over you. If you're in Goldsby, you have about 13 minutes until this gets to you. So in Goldsby, again, get to your safe place. You have a tornado heading in your direction. If you're in Noble, you have about 23 minutes, probably a little less, 20 minutes. McGuire, about half an hour. Slaughterville, is much closer. You've got about 25 minutes or so. So a large, damaging, dangerous tornado is currently on the ground. Get to your safe place right here, right now, if you are within any of these areas. Again, that is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado, baseball-sized hail with this thing as well. So again, that is a considerable damage threat with baseball-sized hail. Big-time tornado on the ground, heading straight for Cole, maybe going just south of it, if the radar is to be believed. But there is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado heading for Cole. If you know anyone here that is within this tornado warning for Cleveland and west central McLean counties in Oklahoma, or anyone in the severe risk today, that's for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, get them to this stream right now. Big time tornado on the ground near Cole. Could have more big tornadoes tonight. Unfortunately, this is about the worst case scenario. This is what we were fearing might happen, but there is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado heading towards southern Norman, Noble, Slaughterville, Goldsby, Cole, southwestern Lake Thunderbird. If you are in any of those areas, it's time to get to your safe place. This thing is going to ride Highway 74B, moving eastward. At this time, it's near Cole, moving east, just south of 74B. It's going to be crossing I-35 here within the next 15 minutes between Goldsby and Noble. It's going to cross the intersection between Highway 74 and 35. It looks like pretty close, and there it is. It's right over Cole. So let's take a look at the high-resolution correlation coefficient there, and there it is. Right over Cole. Big time, particularly dangerous situation. That is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado. So here's the parent tornado warning I want to talk about. This is another PDS warning. This is now the southern warning. Includes Slaughterville. So if you are within Cleveland or central McLean counties, you're in a PDS tornado warning until 8 p.m. So if you're in southern Norman, Purcell, Noble, Slaughterville, Lexington, Goldsby, Dibble, Washington, or Cole, it's time to get to that tornado safe place right here, right now. That extremely dangerous situation continues to unfold, and that is a large stovepipe tornado on the ground. If you search Reed Timmer on YouTube, pull up his stream side by side with mine, you can see this. Again, large tornado on the ground near Cole, stovepipe tornado. Again, you can see it if you search up Reed Timmer on YouTube. Watch his stream alongside this one. I'll take you through it. He'll give you the footage. So, large, damaging, dangerous tornado currently in Cole, moving towards the east at about 30 miles per hour. So we're going to go with 35 just to be a bit aggressive here. It's pretty much over Cole. If you're in Goldsby, you have about 10 minutes. If you're in Noble, you have about 20 minutes. McGuire, 25. Slaughterville, 25. Half an hour until it gets to Willow View. Half an hour until it gets to Willow View. So again, that is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado that is currently on the ground with a velocity signature that you never want to see. I'm seeing, frankly, an absurd velocity signature. I'll show you guys, and I'll explain what it means. So this is your velocity signature, and you can see the de-aliasing there. But when you have bright reds and oranges, and then the radar gets so strong that it actually flips colors here, means the winds are above whatever that maximum speed was before, and then whatever the difference is here. So let me do my best to kind of calculate that. So that's about 55 to 13. So that's about 75. Oh my goodness gracious. 120 to 109, that's over 200 miles an hour, nearly a gate-to-gate shear. So this is a very strong tornado. This thing is moving north. That means it's occluding. So the good news is with this, it looks like it might not last too much longer. However, in the time that it is on the ground, and still, if you're in this warning, you need to get to your safe place. There's no questions asked. This is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground. But this looks like if I'm in Goldby, if I'm in Noble, if I'm in Slaughterville, if I'm in Washington, I'm getting to my safe place right now. What's that safe place look like? That's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room. Bathroom or closet works, but you want to make sure that you are in a safe place. This is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground with this storm, and it's taken a bit of a northward turn, but my goodness, that thing's just right over Cole. So, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing with these. These are moving a bit slower today, so these are going to be over places for a long duration. So if I'm in Cole, large, damaging, dangerous tornado over you, Goldsby, Noble, McGuire, Slaughterville, all within the path of where this tornado could go. Again, we're going to go with 35 miles per hour to be aggressive here, and we're going to take a more northerly component due to the latest frame, and we can actually loop this for you, and you can kind of see that more northerly component there with time. But I mean, if I'm in Goldsby, this thing's going to be there in about 9 minutes. If I'm in Noble, you've got about 19. McGuire, you've got about 26. Slaughterville, you've got 27 minutes, and that might be a bit generous. So, again, if I'm in this warning, I'm getting to my safe place right here, right now. That is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground. Do you see where that hook is? The center of that hook where the reds are? That's where the tornado is. That's in Cole, heading towards Noble. At this time, Slaughterville, Purcell, areas like that. So that is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado. So let's go over it again. The northern tornado warning. You can see our two boxes there. Let's talk about them both. The northern box, that's for central Cleveland, west central McLean counties. That is for a particularly dangerous tornado at this time. So very dangerous. Weather spotter confirmed tornado at this time. And again, it's a considerable damage threat. As we head towards the southern side of things, you'll notice there that that's for southern Norman, Purcell, Noble, Slaughterville, Lexington, Goldsby, Double, Washington, and Cole. So extremely dangerous situation remains in place there. And it does look like we do have someone joining us here. This is Elliot, part of the Advective
Hello,
Weather team.
Thomas.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining me on this coverage. We have a large, damaging, dangerous tornado there near Cole in Oklahoma. And I mean, it's just looking stronger and stronger with every frame. That is an absurd debris ball, coupled with what I can only describe as a catastrophic looking tornado on the velocities. So, what have you been seeing so far? What are your thoughts? This is a big one. This is the big one.
Oh yeah, definitely. First of all, that outflow, in and of itself is massive. So even like outside of the main tornado couplet, you're likely going to be seeing large hail, and the basically the tornado itself is also likely to be very large at this point, given the size of the debris ball. And honestly, I just think it's a very dangerous situation. And if you're in the polygon, just please respect the polygon. If you're in Goldsby Noble, you should be getting to your safe space now. Cole just got hit pretty hard, it looks like. And honestly, I just think that you should be getting to your safe space if you are in any of these warnings.
Absolutely the case. I just want to get some velocity numbers for you real quick. Maximum on one side, 127 miles an hour. Maximum on the other is 91. So 127 to 91. That's over 200 miles an hour of shear in the couplet. That is rather absurd. Over 2 miles wide. That's how wide the debris ball is. And this thing is heading right for Goldsby. Just moved through Cole. So this is an extremely dangerous situation that continues to unfold here. It doesn't
Indeed.
Doesn't get much more
It
dangerous than this. I mean, our correlation coefficient values are falling down to about 0.32, which for those that don't know, that basically means that there is so much debris in the air that there is only about a 32% similarity between objects, which is pretty extreme. We're normally seeing, once we get down to like 60, 50, we get concerned. Once we're down into 40, 30, that's very concerning. Occasionally it gets down to point 0.2. We're not seeing anything that absurd just yet, but we could very well soon, so we'll see. But again, large, damaging, dangerous tornado remains on the ground near Cole, heading towards Goldsby.
indeed. And just looking at the radar reflectivity, we're just seeing a massive inflow notch just over Washington. So we could expect to see some damaging winds there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of the towns in these polygons are either affected by the tornado itself or just the large amount of inflow that we're seeing.
Absolutely the case. And I mean, we can't forget about other storms here on the Oklahoma City metro. We have more severe storms initiating south of this one that's producing the big tornado near Norman. Those will have to be watched. Those are still in good conditions. Severe storm warning for Oklahoma City. That's with ping pong ball sized hail. Ping pong balls to the north here with this cell moving towards Chandler. That could wrap up at any point too. We've got another cell here that looks to be dying down, but still severe warned there, and then another one for Perry. But again, first order of concern is the storm there near Goldsby. I mean, that is a very strong tornado. The reflectivity appearance isn't as good, but very deep debris ball remains and still an absurd velocity signature. So a large, damaging, dangerous tornado remains on the ground. Reed Timmer has basically decided to drive into it for whatever reason. So if you watch his stream, you can actually see that happening. Debris just getting chucked at his car, things like that. But you can see it's damaging, it's dangerous, it's uprooted trees, it's bent over flagpoles. We'll see here. And it looks like he has just watched a well-built brick home. That is completely destroyed. This thing is completely destroyed. A brick home of some sort. Now, we can't talk about rating. We can't do that. It's not swept to its foundation completely, but it's destroyed the home. That home is no longer livable. The roof's gone. Many roofs are gone. But what you'll notice if you're watching the stream is that interior room is still there. So again, if you can get to the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, that's what you have to do. So that's going to be basement, bathroom, or closet. Bring pillows, blankets, things like that to protect yourself from flying debris.
Always
But
cover your head.
oh, absolutely, for sure. Cover your head, protect yourself from flying debris. Blunt force trauma, the primary cause of death in these situations. But let's take a look. I'm going to track this out again from where the current track is. Again, we'll move it at 35. This will be in Goldsby in about 7 minutes, Noble in about 17 minutes, and McGuire in about 24. If this thing does take a turn back to the south, Slaughterville, you're going to be in it in about half an hour, 25 minutes or so as well. Again, that is a big-time tornado warning. And don't forget, there's baseball-sized hail. Very strong winds with this as well. That couplet remains very tight at this time as this damaging, dangerous, large tornado continues. Its move through Cole is heading towards Goldsby. It's still very much on the ground. It can't be seen that well right now. It's getting kind of rain-wrapped. But there is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado that is currently on the ground right now. So if you know anyone within this risk, within this severe weather situation, get them this information. Get them this stream. Make sure that if they're in Cole, Goldsby, Noble, McGuire, Slaughterville, basically if you're south of Oklahoma City here, between Purcell and Oklahoma City, or you know anyone there, send them this stream. We'll keep you informed with what's going on.
Indeed. And even in Norman, we're still seeing baseball-sized hail, according to the National Weather Service warning. So, of course, even though that is not in the tornado warning, you should be still getting to shelter if you are in Norman, seeing as there is likely very large and destructive hail ongoing in the outflow of the storm.
Absolutely the case. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to ask us. We'll be more than glad to answer them. But again, that is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado that is currently on the ground. So, my goodness. And yeah, we do have some other things that we're seeing here indicating that this was likely, if not still, a wedge tornado. that is on the ground right now. So let's talk about and do some analysis here of this for you. On the reflectivity, this does not look that good anymore. That's the good news. It doesn't look that good on reflectivity with the storm structure. The bad news, the couplet is still very strong, which means the tornado is likely still very strong, but the support systems for that tornado to keep going have deteriorated some. Now again, it's still very strong, so if I'm in Cole, Goldsby, Noble, McGuire, I'm not letting my guard down. This still looks like a very strong tornado, but it looks like this might not make it much farther than that. You can see the debris ball there between Cole and Goldsby. It's here if I go down to the street level there. This thing is around 290th Street there, heading towards Goldsby. It's going to be crossing about the intersection between Highway 74 and I-35. Again, Highway 74, I-35, that intersection in Goldsby, that's where this looks to be headed. You don't have very long if you're in Goldsby before this moves into you. But again, that's a large, damaging, dangerous tornado currently on the ground. You can see it on the correlation coefficient, kind of where that drop is. That's where a tornado likely is. And then again, on the velocity, you can very clearly see where that tornado is. And again, if I'm in Goldsby, I've got 5 minutes. I've got about 5 minutes at most before this moves in. So this remains a damaging, dangerous, particularly dangerous situation. This is actually slowing down to 20 miles an hour, it looks like, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. Elliot, you got any new information?
Not much, but I am noticing a new cell that's popping up near Oklahoma City. Velocity isn't really showing much of a rotation there yet, but it does look like that it does have a lot of shear in the environment, and it's likely to produce some pretty large hail given its current radar presentation over the Oklahoma City metro. So I think that's something that we're also going to be watching as we head into the next hour or two.
Absolutely the case, and we're going to remain with you as long as this damaging, dangerous tornado is on the ground, and perhaps even beyond that. We'll see. A new tornado warning has just come out regarding this storm that does include Norman. That is a particularly dangerous situation. So again, I'm going to go over this now. This is the most recent tornado warning. If you're in any of the locations I read off, it's time to get to your safe place here. So if you're in Cleveland or McLean counties in Oklahoma, then you are in this particularly dangerous situation. So if you're in southern Norman, Noble, Slaughterville, or Goldsby, including I-35 between mile markers 100 and 108, it's time to get underground. Again, there are baseballs, nearly baseballs in this as well. And that couplet, it holds strong. Now, the good news is this doesn't look as strong as it was. So perhaps the tornado is on a weakening trend, but that doesn't mean that the threat is lifted. Far from it. Still looks like a damaging, dangerous tornado is currently on the ground with that, heading towards Goldsby. Now, if I'm in the southern tornado warning here, I'm still staying in my safe place as well. It's still a particularly dangerous situation because there is now a new inflow notch on the southern end of this, and that could rapidly materialize. There is rotation there, so that could materialize into a new tornado at any moment as well. So if I'm in Goldsby, if I'm in Norman, if I'm in Noble, McGuire, Slaughterville, Washington, I'm getting to my tornado safe place right here, right now, as a large, damaging, dangerous tornado remains on the ground there near Goldsby, and another one could be forming there, crossing Highway 74 near Washington, now east of Washington, heading towards Slaughterville. And
Indeed, and it does look like this is moving to the left, so especially in the southern suburbs of Norman, you're going to want to get to your shelter as soon as possible.
Absolutely the case. We did mention in our video earlier today the possibility of a couple stronger tornadoes. Unfortunately, that is materializing. But yeah, if you know anyone here that's in Norman or Point South all the way to around Wayne, even in Oklahoma City, if you know anyone around those areas, and if you know anyone to the north here, because there are a couple of tornado warnings there in Iowa and Nebraska as well, let them know we're here. We'll keep them updated. We'll keep them informed as this situation continues to unfold.
And of course, we are always happy to answer your questions. So drop them in chat, and myself or Thomas will answer you as quickly as possible.
Absolutely the case. And Elliot, if you don't mind, because I can't do it, if you can kind of personalize the stream a little bit, edit the title, add some tags, things like that, while we continue to monitor this, that would be great.
Of course, of course.
Thank you. Uh, but while that's going on, I'm just going to take you through what's currently going on with this supercell here in a bit of detail. So first things first, we have our big time tornado here near Goldsby. This is the one of concern. This thing is moving northward towards the southern Norman suburbs. Now, if you're in Noble or McGuire, you still need to be in your safe place here. And that is a new tornado warning that's just been issued. There's another tornado warning that's just been issued. This is quite... Why is that one issued? It looks like this is occluding. That's the good news. So it looks like that tornado is weakening rather quickly, but now it's moving north, so they're reissuing the warning as it turns north. So this is a new tornado warning here for Cleveland and McLean counties until 8:15. And it still is PDS. This is still a PDS tornado warning for a weather spotter confirmed tornado. So if you're in western Norman, Newcastle, or Goldsby, it's time to get to that tornado safe place right here, right now. So we currently have two PDS warnings in place with the same cell. So let's talk about them both. So there's one for Cleveland and McLean counties until 8:45. For southern Norman, Noble, Slaughterville, and Goldsby, including I-35 between mile markers 100 and 108. And then another PDS tornado warning in place for Cleveland, McLean counties until 8:15 for western Norman, Newcastle, and Goldsby, including I-35 between mile markers 106 and 109. So the way this works... First things first, if you're on the highway, get off the highway, get a gas station, something sturdy, get there. Make sure that you're safe, but get there. For the love of all that is good, you do not want to be in your vehicle if a tornado is passing through. That is the last thing you want. Regardless of whether you're in a vehicle or not, again, lowest level, sturdy building, interior room, that's a bathroom closet, that's what that looks like. That's where you want to be. So that's extremely important at this time. We're going to continue to monitor the situation as it unfolds, and there is another new tornado warning now for a radar-indicated tornado with this new recycling hook that is near Slaughterville, heading towards Slaughterville, crossed Washington. That's tightening up quickly now. Heading towards Slaughterville, it's going to cross I-35 around the intersection of where Highway 74 heading to the east to west intersection between I-35 and 74. We're not quite the intersection, but where they get close there, around World War I Veterans Memorial Parkway. And it's going to cross that intersection there. It's going to cross I-35 there between Washington and Slaughterville. Then it's going to cross 77 as it moves through Slaughterville. But there it is, that tornado that we did have there near Goldsby, Norman, that looks to be occluding, moving to the north a bit. Looks like it is weakening. However, we cannot say for sure it's off the ground. Correlation coefficient still shows a decent debris signature. And with the southern one, while its radar indicated, this storm has a history of producing strong tornadoes, and this could be another stronger tornado that it's about to produce. So, dangerous situation there. Elliot, do you have any additional thoughts?
And even if the tornadoes themselves are weakening, I can't understate the hail threat enough. You should be getting into shelter anyway. Don't go outside and look for the tornado. It's likely going to be rain wrapped, so you're not going to get a good view of it, and you're not going to know it's coming. So please get inside if you are in any of these warnings. That's basically, can't emphasize that enough.
Absolutely the case is this large, damaging, dangerous tornado that was on the ground. There is a possibility it's still on the ground. The good news is it looks like it's weakening, but that doesn't mean you get out of your shelter there. As this tornado-warned storm heads towards Noble, Norman, Goldsby. Still need to be in your safe place there. Cole's in the clear, so if you're in Cole, you're in the clear. I am not looking forward to seeing what damage photos come out of Cole. That tornado just sat over Cole. So we'll see. And that was an absurd velocity signature, too. So thoughts and prayers to the people of Cole, Oklahoma. If we get any reports, any social media posts, anything like that from out of there, let's see if we can relay some information. But I wouldn't be shocked if those guys need help down there.
New
all right.
warning for Iowa and Nebraska, actually.
Yeah.
Looks to be a tornado around Nebraska City, which is basically right along the Mississippi River. That's producing a it's producing a decent couplet, although not very strong just yet.
Yeah.
Although it does appear to be producing some pretty strong hail signatures, so
Yeah, and 2-inch
just
hail
wanted
there
to
on the Weather
briefly
Service.
mention that.
Fair enough. 2-inch hail
Well,
officially by the Weather Service.
mhm.
And then farther north, we also have a tornado warning there in the state of Iowa. We haven't really gone over there. Heading towards the city of Wall Lake. It's a tornado warning for Sac, Crawford, and Carroll counties until 8:45. It's for a tornado and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. And that includes Wall Lake and Wall Lake Municipal Airport. Now, there's no confirmation of a tornado. That doesn't mean one isn't on the ground. These even smaller, weaker tornadoes can be dangerous. They can still break windows, they can still fly around debris, and that's what causes death. So as long as you're in your safe place, lowest level sturdy building, interior room, you're safe, especially from these weaker tornadoes. But, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with the monster down in Oklahoma or the little rope tornadoes that happen at times. The action should be the same. Let's take a look at this there. The tornado warned storm there, the chunk of the supercell there near Goldsby and Norman, kind of between them now, about across Highway 9. This is still confirmed. It's no longer PDS, but they are saying that weather spotters are still confirming some kind of tornado on the ground there. So we still want to take that very seriously. They're near the city of Norman. So while that's no longer PDS, that's the good news. That northern tornado warning and that couplet is really fizzling out now. There's still a damaging tornado and golf ball sized hail there in western Norman, Newcastle, Goldby. So if you're in any of those areas, you still need to be in your safe place. And then we do have the couplet heading towards Slaughterville. Now this does not look overly great. It's rotating for sure, and there could be something on the ground, and we just can't see it yet. But if I'm in Cleveland or McLean counties, you're in a tornado warning until 8:45 for a tornado and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. So if I'm in southeastern Norman, Purcell, Noble, Slaughterville, Lexington, Goldsby, Washington, or Etowah, it's time to get to your tornado safe place right here, right now. That is a damaging, dangerous, tornadic producing supercell. And regardless of whether there's a tornado on the ground, the 2-inch in diameter hail should be enough for you to be indoors away from windows at least. Although I think personally, lowest level sturdy building interior room, that's the best option. And if I'm in Oklahoma City, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball sized hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, but the radar signature has strengthened considerably. So I would not be shocked if that is now producing golf balls, or no, beyond golf balls, perhaps baseballs up there near Oklahoma City. So dangerous situation unfolding there for sure as well. So if I'm in Oklahoma City, I'm indoors, I'm away from windows, I'm in an interior room. Hopefully your property is protected from hail damage, but do not go outside to try and do it. The storm is right on your doorstep. But again, moving back to Slaughterville, the appearance of this is not the greatest on reflectivity, but we still need to take it seriously. There is rotation on velocity, and no debris signature. That's the good news. Now, a couple of good things. The capping inversion that broke, that allowed these storms to form, should be back into place here within the next hour or two. Now, if there's no PDS tornado or anything of that nature by bottom of the hour, we're going to go off the air for now, and we'll come right back if a PDS tornado returns. Now, if you guys know anyone in the severe risk and you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to ask us. We'll be more than glad to answer them. That's what we're here for. But
Indeed it is.
again, damaging tornado was in progress, could still be in progress. And downgrade to radar indicated rotation now with that tornado warning heading into Norman. So good news there. That looks to have weakened considerably. Again, though, there is still a bit of rotation. So if I'm in Norman, I'm still in my safe place, especially southern Norman. If I'm in Goldsby, I'm in the clear. If I'm in Noble, I'm in the clear, unless I'm on the southern side. If I'm on the southern side of Noble, south of proper town, they're around the intersection of South 8th and South Main Street. I'm still in my safe place. And that rotation is tightening up. It doesn't look amazing, but it is tightening up. So if I'm in Slaughterville, I'm in my safe place, because even if there isn't a tornado on the ground, and there could be, there is a real possibility that this thing rapidly develops again, just like it did before. So make sure that you're in that tornado safe place right here, right now, in case something of that nature does occur. My goodness, I think we just witnessed a strong to violent tornado just drill through coal,
I would agree with that.
which is very, very unfortunate. Um, it's been an active tornado season this year. We had a historic outbreak on March 31st, so I think we've gotten more than our fair share of strong to violent tornadoes already this year. But today, slight risk. The Storm Prediction Center explicitly mentioned the possibility of strong tornadoes if a good supercell could form, and that's exactly what's happened. So, yeah, my goodness. Do we have any news out of coal? Anything that we're seeing on social media? I'm gonna look myself here. Um, See if there's anything of note from my end, but I'm not seeing much here.
Yeah, I imagine the scanner reports would be starting to come in fairly soon.
Someone
Although,
asking, um, can I go to bed if I'm in Tulsa? The answer is no. Storms are on the way in Tulsa. You still got a little while before you can do that. Let's actually take you through kind of what the future looks like there. So this is what we're looking at. This is right about now. It's around 8 o'clock. This is 9 o'clock, and you can see there the future radar storms start to move into Tulsa. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we still have storms around Tulsa. Now, note, this has a storm right over Tulsa. Don't pay attention to that. Just pay attention to kind of where the line of storms is. And the line of storms will be around this region stretching south to Ada. This isn't quite right, but the general thing is by the time we get to around midnight, 1 a.m., I'd say by midnight, it's probably going to be safe for you to go to bed. But there's going to be a wave of storms that moves through. So I'd wait until at least midnight before I can go to bed, unless you have a NOAA weather radio or a way to wake you up. If you have a communication plan, if you have someone that can wake you up, you can go to bed. But you need to make sure you have a way to get weather alerts and get woken up in the event that a damaging, dangerous storm does move through your area there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Someone else asking, when will OU be completely clear? If you're in OU, University of Oklahoma, you're there in southern Norman, the tornado warning there, that remains in place until 8:45 p.m. Now, I suspect they're going to let that drop sooner, as the rotation has really died down up there. But if I'm in the University of Oklahoma, you are technically within a tornado warning until 8:45 p.m. So 8:45 at the latest is when you'll be in the clear. But these warnings will likely expire sooner. So not in the clear just yet. You're still in a tornado warning, but the rotation is very weak. So odds are the university isn't going to get hit by a tornado. Odds are the university is going to be okay. Odds are nothing huge is going to happen. That's the good news. Maybe some heavy rain, maybe a little bit more hail, but not much more on the tornado side, it doesn't look like. However, the Weather Service still has a tornado warning, and there's still a bit of rotation. So remain in that safe place for at least a little while longer. Someone else checking in from the East Coast near Philadelphia. Warm and nice weather. It is nice and warm over there on the East Coast. That's unfortunately not going to last too much longer. Colder air moving in soon. Let's talk about the update to this tornado warning real quick. Elliot, do you have information on that new update that just came out for the one near Slaughterville?
It has not come in on my end yet. Although that couplet on radar is actually looking quite a bit stronger
Okay.
than it did. We're now seeing gate to gate values of, let me do a quick reading on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting gate-to-gate values approaching 90 miles an hour, so yeah, it's definitely doing a little bit of strengthening.
Yeah.
Um,
So, goodness. Okay, so yeah, this could drop another one here soon.
definitely, and it's quite a broad couplet, so the wind field would be pretty large.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Uh,
Yeah, there's definitely a very defined inflow notch, extending from Slaughterville up to Noble. Um,
Something else to talk about. Um, Good news, actually. The tornado warning for University of Oklahoma has just been allowed to expire. So if I'm in the University of Oklahoma, you're in the clear now. You're good to go. So you can actually um, get out of your safe place now. You are in the clear for now from a uh, tornadic threat. However, still in a severe thunderstorm warning there in southern Norman for the possibility of 1 inch in diameter hail. And we can actually search locations here. So yeah, University of Oklahoma, just outside of that severe thunderstorm warning. But if I'm on the University of Oklahoma campus, still just heed that warning, stay indoors, things of that nature, as this dangerous situation does continue. But
how many in Fairfax, Oklahoma? Someone in chat's asking that. Um, that looks to be in sort of more of the northern portion of Oklahoma.
mhm.
Yep, I'm
So
taking a quick look there. That's northeast of Stillwater, so it
yeah,
does look like you may have a few severe worn cells coming through. None of them do have a tornado just yet, although you're probably gonna have another hour or two before the storms probably hit you. You should be still keeping watch on that throughout the evening, I'd say. The environment is good, so you should definitely be watching to see if any of those tornadoes do drop, um, and always have a plan to get to your safe space. Although it does look like there is no immediate threat for those areas.
that's the good news right there. So if I'm in a how many? I've got them directly on the screen, but Elliot's absolutely right. Um, we're not seeing anything that's flying off the radar at us right now, but still damaging severe thunderstorms with ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are heading in your general direction. So make sure you're on guard for at least the next, I'd say, 3 hours or so. So by around 11 o'clock, probably okay. Let's return to our tornado warned storm there near Slaughterville. Um, Take a look at the velocities. Those look like they've fallen apart some. So that's the good news for sure. Um, so
Um, Another
yeah,
chat member is asking if there's a chance of it hitting southwest Missouri. I would say if it does, it's probably going to be later at night. So the good news is that the environment is likely not going to be as favorable by then. Although I would still keep watch for some severe thunderstorms later this evening. And that's probably going to be in a couple hours if
good
it does.
news. Good news for you in southern Missouri. If you're in Joplin, Springfield, you're in a general thunderstorm risk, not even a marginal risk. That begins around Butler. Um, Around Butler, Missouri, and points north. That includes Kansas City. You're in a severe risk tonight, and we've actually got quite a few storms to the north here, including one tornado warned storm in the city of Kansas with 3 inch diameter hail there. Goodness gracious. It's heading towards Emporia at the moment. And yeah, it's got a bit of a hook on it, too. So we can talk about this briefly. So if I'm in Cottonwood Falls, if I'm in Strong City, Rockland, Toledo, Staffordville, that's robust. Yeah, there's a robust couplet with that as well. No debris signature at this time though, but that does look rather significant. Yeah, it's a radar indicated tornado, 3 inch hail, so that is a destructive thunderstorm regardless. Um, So if I'm in Rockland, Timer, Strong City, Cottonwood Falls, Solville, any of those areas, I'm in my safe place right here, right now. As that damaging tornado threat continues. Yeah, weather spotters have reported a funnel cloud there with that storm near Cottonwood Falls and Strong City there, which is in northern Chase County. Yeah, it's in northern Chase County. And then again, heading in the general direction of probably maybe just north of Kansas City. Severe storm, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 1.25-inch hail being maximum intensity there at this time. So good news there for southern Missouri. Tonight, it looks like your severe threat is relatively low. However, if we look at tomorrow's, you are in a marginal risk there in Springfield, Ozark, Lebanon, areas like that, where storms could fire. Strong winds, large hail, the primary threats there. The tornado threat looks pretty minimal. So that's good news there as well, but that's the information I have currently in regards to the severe weather threat there in southern Missouri. And yeah, thank you guys for the kind words there um, in the chat section. If you guys know anyone within the severe weather risk tonight, any of the areas I mentioned, send them this. They can ask questions too. One of the things I like about this channel being somewhat smaller is that we can interact with our audience. We can see all of your chat messages. We can interact with you. That's wonderful. That's one of my favorite parts of this. So if you know anyone who might have questions, send them this way. I'd be happy to help them out, and so would Elliot, I know. If you're enjoying the stream, you can like it as well, and even subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content regarding. I know we're going to have some educational stuff coming out soon, but we also have severe weather updates, kind of like the one we made today on this threat, where we kind of gave an advance warning. And yeah, emergency coverage like this. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for the support today. It's been greatly appreciated thus far. And now, enough with the rambling from me. Let's get back to the thunderstorms. Yeah, and someone saying, being from Cali, this is exciting but terrifying. Yeah, I'm sure. Lucky for you, Cali doesn't get this stuff too much. And lucky for the people there in Oklahoma, it does look like this couplet, while still there, is significantly weaker than it was. It's probably heading in the general direction of McGuire, but no tornado on the ground at this time. That could change at any moment. So let's actually track this out now real quick. This storm is currently moving. Just a moment. It's moving at 20. That's pretty slow. We'll go with 25 just to be a bit aggressive on the timetable. But if I'm McGuire, got about 9 minutes. Needmore, got about 20. And Etowah, about 27 minutes until we do get here. At Slaughterville and McKidneyville, you'd have about 10 minutes and 20 minutes respectively until this gets to you. Good news for you. It does look like this is going to go north, but still, you're in a tornado warning, and the storm has not passed. So don't want to give you the clear yet, but it's looking fairly good. It's looking like this might be lightening up some, but still 2-inch diameter hail there. That's impacting, it looks like, directly right now, northern Needmore, heading into Denver, Oklahoma, McGuire, Oklahoma as well. So that's a rather strong hail core that's developed, a rather strong updraft. I want to check that. That looks a little suspicious. There's not much rotation there, so that's good news. But still, it's a rather substantiated tornadic thunderstorm there. So again, thank you guys for watching thus far. We do hope that we've been able to serve you well as this situation does continue to unfold. But luckily for us, it does appear that the tornado threat might be dying down some. Looking here on Reed Timmer's stream, looks like he's trying to head into Cole. See what happened in Cole. Not seeing too much from him right now. Lots of cop cars. Lots and lots of cops, first responders, emergency response vehicles. That's never a good sign. But haven't heard much else out of the city of Cole. Let's see here. Do we have anything here? We do have wow, okay. So we had a VROT of 102 knots. That's 204 gate-to-gate shear. So that's like 250-ish miles an hour gate-to-gate at peak. And then, yeah, no, delta velocity 204 knots, and debris lofted over 15,000 feet in the air. So, my goodness. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, quite the intense storm that we saw there. And I would like to turn our attention back to the cell in Kansas briefly. It does look like it is starting to, well,
Ooh,
it's mainly sustaining at this point,
it's
but
wrapped up,
it's
though.
passing basically right over Elmdale in Kansas, and it's approaching Strong City and Cottonwood Falls. So if you're in any of those locations, you should be getting to your shelter immediately. The storm probably has 10 minutes at most before it basically passes right over you. So get to your safe space if you have one.
That's tightened up very rapidly in the latest frame, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Now that you
so,
mention it.
yeah, that could be a very dangerous tornado that's actually rapidly developing there. So let's check this out for you. This thing, currently, this tornado warning, is in place there. Again, it's for a reported funnel cloud in northern Chase County until 8:45. So if I'm in Cottonwood Falls, Strong City, Staffordville, Elmdale, Humer, Tallgrass Prairie Preserve, it's time to get to your safe place right now, as it looks like a tornado could be rapidly developing here in the state of Kansas. That is moving at a solid 30 miles per hour. Again, we're going to do what we normally do here, 35, for the sake of more aggressive timing. But this thing's over Elmdale. It's going to be at Neva in under 5 minutes, Strong City in under 11, Eleanor in about 21, Staffordville in about 25, and Toledo in about 27 minutes. This thing's going to cross Highway 50 near Cottonwood Falls, around where Highway 177 and 50 intersect there in the state of Kansas. So that's a damaging tornado likely forming, if not already on the ground, given what I'm currently seeing. It does look like we may have a small TDS there, but I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, very robust couplet now with that, and they bounded weak echo region. So, my goodness, that is very strong. So we likely have a strong tornado now on the ground south of Rockland, if I had to guess. It's not confirmed, but it's crossing Highway 50, heading towards Strong City, Toledo, and Staffordville. So, again, I'm not anticipating that there's going to be confirmation, unless there are storm spotters on it, or we get a debris signature, but I think there's a tornado on the ground with this. Even if there's not, grapefruit-sized hail should be convincing enough for you to get to your safe place as well. That's heading towards Cottonwood Falls. And yeah, there's confirmation now of 2.5-inch hail by law enforcement there coming straight out of Elmdale. And that is a very strong, very, very strong couplet there out of there as well. So that is a rapidly developing situation there. Someone saying heavy rain falling in Mustang, Oklahoma. That is in fact the case there. If we move south in Mustang, you are you're actually probably just getting out of it, but there's a severe thunderstorm warning there for 1.5-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and yeah, it does look like good news that Slaughterville storm is deteriorating a little bit, but we'll briefly go over it there. Radar indicated rotation, 2-inch diameter hail. There near Slaughterville, McGuire, Etowah, with 2-inch diameter hail to the north as well there for that severe thunderstorm warning near Norman. With quite the updraft, Oklahoma City also within a severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong balls, but my big concern is this supercell to the north. That velocity is really tight, but no debris signature yet. That's the good news. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this, but if I'm in Neva, if I'm in Strong City, if I'm in Elmdale, you need to be getting to your safe place. If you're in Cottonwood Falls, you need to be getting to your safe place. This looks like a strong tornado on velocity. This looks like a very strong tornado on velocity. The good news is it might be moving through more rural population, maybe very little in terms of population. That's the hope. However, the Weather Service has just updated this tornado warning. This is now a confirmed tornado. So again, that is a confirmed tornado on the ground right now with this. 3-inch diameter hail remains, but that is a damaging tornado. Law enforcement confirmed. So a confirmed tornado now on the ground, and I would not be shocked if this is bigger in the state of Kansas. There it is, damaging tornado and 3-inch hail. So if you are in Saffordsville, Elmdale, Heimer, Tallgrass Prairie Preserve, get to your safe place. This thing's going just north of Cottonwood Falls. Looks like it might be heading directly for Strong City. So if I'm in Strong City, again, take those tornado precautions. Get to the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room. That could be a bathroom or a closet, something of that nature. But this is an extremely dangerous situation that continues to occur there. So if you know anyone here near Strong City, Kansas, Toledo, and then downstream near Emporia, Kansas, areas like that, get them on the stream. They can ask questions. They can ask us if they're in danger. We can tell them directly. We're small enough that we can address people when they do have concerns like that. So please send them our way. People in Oklahoma there, near Norman with that supercell down there, you can ask us to help out with that. We'll be happy to do that as well. Still a bit of rotation there now east of Slaughterville, but nothing too bad. And then finally to the north, we do have a tornado warning there in Iowa. That looks relatively weak on radar, with a strong supercell that looks to be a hailer. Primary threat there being 1.5-inch diameter hail. But again, our big tornado threat right now in the state of Kansas near Cottonwood Falls and Strong City. Someone's saying if you're speaking, I can't hear you. David, get back to me there if you can hear me. Let me know. I'm gonna see if the audio is working real quick on my end. Yes, it does look like it's working on my end. Refresh the stream. If there's an issue with audio, just refresh the stream. Here, I'll actually just put that in the chat. Elliot, do you have any updates at the moment?
I'm just looking at this thing, and it has basically all of the signatures that we would see for a strong tornado. It's kind of hard to get a correlation coefficient view from the Topeka radar, but and the Wichita radar is a little bit far away, but it does look like there is a CC drop, which does indicate that there is a tornado on the ground that is lofting debris into the air. So this is a confirmed damaging tornado on the ground, and as Thomas has been saying, we should be taking this extremely seriously if you are in the path. Gate-to-gate values for the past couple frames have been around 150 miles an hour.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, this thing is pretty intense, needless to say.
Likely strong tornado currently on the ground there, confirmed by law enforcement. Again, no correlation coefficient drop with this, but a very strong velocity signature. So we likely have a large, damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground heading towards Strong City, moving just north of Cottonwood Falls. If I'm in Strong City or Cottonwood Falls, I'm in my safe place. If I'm in Neva, I'm in my safe place. Even though in Elmdale and Rockland, you can see you're out of the storm and radar, sometimes these like to hook back, have a second inflow notch come up, so I'd stay in my safe place if I'm in Rockland, Emdale for a bit longer. But if I'm in Strong City or Cottonwood Falls, this thing's almost right on top of you. You can't walk. You got to run to shelter now. You got to get underground, lowest level, sturdy building, interior room. A vehicle's not going to do it. Mobile home's not going to do it. This is a strong tornado likely on the ground right now. The radar we're getting is pretty close to the ground too. So I have a pretty hard time thinking that we don't have a large, damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground there. We know there's some sort of tornado. I think it's pretty strong, given what we're currently looking at there with that storm nearing Strong City.
Somebody in chat is asking if it's an EF5. It's way too early to say. Yeah, tornadoes are basically rated by the damage that they cause to structures, so it's going to be way too early to see if there is an actual EF5. they're probably going to do a damage survey. And if there are any structures that are basically completely slabbed and are confirmed to be very well built, it will be rated EF5 most likely. However, there is no indication that this is near EF5 strength for the time being. Either way, it should be taken very seriously.
Yeah, ratings are based on damage after the storm, not the wind speeds during the storm. I know that can be a bit confusing, but that's the way it works. So I'm just going to give you an update now on the current tornado warnings real quick. Let's just talk about the one there near Cottonwood Falls and Strong City. This is a damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground. Good news is the radar looks a little weaker in the latest frame, but we do have that confirmation of a tornado from law enforcement, and this still looks rather strong. It's just weaker than it was. That's the good news there. But if I'm in Strong City, there's still a strong tornado headed your way, so you still need to be getting to your safe place right here, right now at this time. If I'm in Staffordville, Toledo, still need to get to my safe place. If I'm in Elmdale, I'm probably in the clear, although you're still in a tornado warning. I'd wait until the weather service gets you out. But still, looking pretty good for you. And then 3-inch diameter hail with this storm as well. So if I'm north of Strong City there along Highway 177, or points east near Toledo, basically the box between 177 and 50, Highway 50, on the eastern side here of Chase County, northeastern side of Chase County, you're going to get pelted by hail. So that's the concern right now with that. And then as we move back south, that storm there near Slaughterville looks to be reconsolidating again. There is some stronger rotation with that. Still a tornado warning in place. So if I'm in Needmore, if I'm in Etowah, I'm getting to my safe place here, as this could be redeveloping rather quickly tonight.
Yeah, it does look to be reforming that sort of hook echo structure that we were seeing on it earlier. Defined inflow notch. And yeah, that is definitely looking like it could be reforming fairly rapidly. Taking a look at velocity, it does look like it does seem to be wrapping up fairly quickly with the couplet strengthening quite a bit in the latest frames.
Absolutely the case. So let's just make sure that we're prepared in case another strong to violent tornado does drop down there in the state of Oklahoma. As we move back north up to Iowa, we do have a tornado warned storm that remains there. That was a confirmed tornado by storm chaser there near Deloitte. However, the Weather Service not currently marking it as such. Radar indicated this thing's almost out of the warning, with ping pong ball sized hail for Wall Lake, Lakeview, and Sac City being the primary threats. But again, there, main thing to talk about right now, there is likely a strong tornado that is now pretty much over Strong City. That is over or going just north of Strong City. Good news is, though, that debris signature still looks lackluster. So I'm hoping that means one of two things. Either the tornado is pretty weak, or it's just not hitting much. And I think it's just not hitting much because we had that one frame where it was weaker, and then it re-strengthened again, and now it looks much stronger as it moves north of Strong City. So likely a strong tornado on the ground there just north of Strong City, moving northeastward around 30 miles per hour. So we're going to go again with 35 to be aggressive. And this thing is heading in the general direction of Toledo. And I'd say Toledo, you're probably going to get this in about 15 minutes time. Staffordville, you're in the same vote. But if I'm in Strong City, Cottonwood Falls, this thing is headed right towards you or on top of you. Rockland and Elmdale, you're in the clear now. Neva, I'd still remain in my safe place for just a little while longer, as this confirmed damaging, dangerous tornado does continue. However, again, good news does seem to be that debris ball looks to be very weak. So hopefully we have very little in terms of damage there, despite how strong that tornado looks on radar. As we move back south to Oklahoma here,
Oh goodness, that cell looks like that couple looks like it's strengthening quite a bit over the latest frames.
Oh my, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
a gate to gate reading on this. That is, I'm not sure if some of those pixels are glitched, but it's looking like the gate to gate on that couplet is approaching 150 miles an hour once again.
yeah. New tornado warning in place for that. And it looks like there might be a bit of a debris signature now with that as well. It's hard to tell, but very strong couplet now with this storm. So in Oklahoma, this cell is recycling. Radar indicated rotation with that, but my goodness gracious, that is a very strong couplet now again. Uh, Coupled with what looks like could be a debris signature. So I'm going to say a tornado's down there. We don't know that for sure, but I'm going to say here that there's probably a tornado down. So if I'm in Cleveland or Potawatomi counties, in a tornado warning until 9:30 p.m. That's for a tornado and golf ball sized hail, radar indicated rotation. So if I'm in southeastern Norman, Tribby, Etowah, Southern Lake, or Thunderbird, it's time to get to my safe place right here, right now. Again, it's in Cleveland and Potawatomi counties. Tornado, golf ball sized hail, likely on the ground now. Again, it's a tornado likely on the ground now in the state of Oklahoma, heading towards Etowah. Heading towards Etowah. So if I'm in Etowah, I'm getting to my safe place right now, and that's moving at a meager 15 miles an hour. So again, you know how we do things here now. We're going to go with 20 just to be aggressive, but let's talk about it now. So need more. You have about 5 minutes. I think you have less. So 5 minutes until need more becomes a huge concern. Although I think you're already in a huge concern, and yeah, that my goodness gracious. Okay, need more. Etowah, Brunette. I don't care how much time you have. You need to get to your safe place right here, right now. This is rapidly evolving into what I believe is an extremely dangerous situation once again. Uh, so again, please get to your safe place. I cannot stress that enough. As this uh, looks to be rather strong here. Um, let's move back to Kansas here. A bunch of new tornado warnings, a bevy of new tornado warnings have come out up in the state of Kansas.
Damaging tornado and baseball-sized hail for that tornado warning storm that just hit Strong City, and that's been extended for another hour. So, and in this warning are the cities of Americus, Dunlap, and Toledo.
Yeah, there it is. And we can see on the velocity here, the internal tools, there is a debris signature. It looks weaker. That's the good news, but still, that is of concern. Again, it's a law enforcement confirmed tornado. So, if you're in Chase County, stay in your safe place there. We've gone over what's going on there, but if you're in Morris or Leon counties, you're in a tornado warning until 9:45 now for a damaging tornado and baseball-sized hail. Now, again, this is heading in the general direction of Americas, um, and it's moving at about 25 miles an hour. So, again, 30, just to be aggressive there, near where the hook is. Let's just talk about timing here. If you're in Americas, you've got about half an hour before this is expected to move in your general direction. However, I'd still be getting to my safe place right now. If you're in Dunlap, Lang, Merrick, Toledo, Staffordville, Strong City, Cottonwood Falls, get to your safe place here. That is very important during this time. If you're in Rockland, if you're in Heimer, if you're in Elmdale, Neva, you're in the clear. You're good. This is not going to be impacting you. If it hasn't, if it was going to, it already has. So hopefully everyone there got out okay. We're going to find out. And yeah, that Oklahoma storm, some good news on that. That does look like it has died down in the latest frame. Some still serious though, still something that needs to be taken seriously for sure. However, um, that does not look overly impressive to me.
There
Very
is a there
yes.
is a new tornado warning near Ty, Texas. Um, and that is for tornado and half dollar sized hail. It's a very small tornado warning, but it's just west of Abilene, so I do think it's definitely worth mentioning since Abilene is a fairly populated area of Texas.
That's absolutely the case. That is a strangely small tornado warning.
It very, very much is.
Uh, are we sure that they didn't make a mistake? With the track there. If I'm in Abilene, I'd almost get to my safe place. They're saying it's moving at 20 miles an hour. But yeah, if I'm in Ty right now or places south near Meadows Mobile Home Park or Butterfield Meadows, I'm getting to my safe place. And that if you're in that mobile home park, got to get out of your mobile home. That's not an option. Sturdy building, lowest level, interior room, bathroom or closet. Those are your options.
Mobile homes are notoriously dangerous during tornadoes, so yeah, you need to get out of there if you're in a mobile home.
Absolutely the case. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on the situation as it continues to unfold. Let's go back to our storm here near Strongville, Cottonwood Falls, or Strong City, I'm sorry. Velocities still look pretty good. It looks like the storm might be recycling. About to drop another tornado. There's definitely a good hook on that. There in the state of Kansas. So we'll see.
Looking at
yeah, that's recycling. What's going on?
Definitely. I was gonna say I'm looking at the Oklahoma one, and it does look like the outflow and the sort of hook on the storm actually sort of became disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
The couplet's still very strong, so I do think it's safe to assume that there's still a tornado on the ground at, to some degree. However, I do think that this thing, it's a very interesting structure to be sure, but I do think that this thing could be in for some weakening during the next couple frames.
It's absolutely the case. So we'll continue to look at that with time and talk about what to expect there. But if I'm just north of Etowah there, near Needmore, Etowah, I'm still concerned. If we do have a tornado, it's right about here. There in the state of Oklahoma. And again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, please feel free to ask, and we'll be more than glad to answer them. But yeah, that tornado warning remains in place for Cleveland and Port Wombe counties until 9:30 p.m. for a tornado and golf ball sized hail. So if I'm in southeastern Norman, Tribby, Etowah, Southern Lake, or Thunderbird, I'm getting to my safe place right now. This does not include the University of Oklahoma. So that's good news, but still, it's definitely something rather substantial there, to say the very least. And as we get towards the edge of the warning, this is moving at about 15 miles an hour. Again, we're going to go a bit aggressive here with the 20, not 50, 20, good lord. And yeah, if I'm in Burnett, we've got about 15 minutes, so Tribby, it's about the same until this could potentially impact you. So make sure you're in your safe place right now. If you're in Etowah, Tribby, Burnett, areas like that. If I'm in McGuire, I'm pretty safe for the moment. And then again to the north here, that hail does look to have weakened 1 3/4 inches there. So that's good news. Oklahoma City getting directly hit now with ping pong ball sized hail, it appears, as well. And then for our friends in Tulsa and Hominy, it does look like those storms have weakened. They are no longer severe warned. So still, I wouldn't go to bed yet. I wouldn't let my guard down up there, but good news regarding those storms. Checking in on our storm down in Texas briefly. There's a bit of a hook there. And the velocities, they look pretty meager, but there's a tornado warning there. So again, if you're south of Ty, make sure you're taking your tornado precautions. And then finally, our cell of concern right now, our biggest cell of concern there, has just passed through Strong City, heading towards Toledo and Saffordville. And that does appear to have recycled, and we likely have another tornado on the ground, or soon to be on the ground there, now east of Strong City, south of Highway 50, about across Highway 50, heading right towards Saffordville and Toledo. So I'm going to draw this out, and it's moving about 25 miles an hour, so we're going to go with the 30. We'll just time this out for you. So if you're in Eleanor, you got about 5 minutes, Staffordville 9 minutes, Toledo 11 minutes, Plymouth 15, Americus, you've got about 17 minutes. Now, I don't care how long you got. If you're within this tornado warning, you got to get to your shelter now. So again, that looks like the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, bathroom, or closet. Vehicle's not going to work. Mobile home's not going to work. Sturdy building, lowest level. Bring a helmet or something like that to protect your head from flying debris, pillows, blankets for your body. If you can, bring hard-soled shoes with you in case big-time damage does occur, things of that nature, to keep yourself safe during this tornadic thunderstorm as it continues its march there to the northeast with time. And if I'm in Emporia, if I'm in the northern side of Emporia near Berkeley Hills or Merrick, I'm in my safe place as well. So that's what we're looking at right now. Elliot, do you have any updates, any new information on any of our tornadic cells?
Nothing really that you didn't just cover. If I'm being honest, I am looking at the Kansas one, and it does look like it was sort of an old couplet that sort of died out and moved off to the left. This new couplet does appear to be taking over in terms of dominance within the cell. But yeah, it doesn't appear too strong just yet, but that could change very rapidly, as we've seen with a lot of these storms tonight. So if you are in that warning, as Thomas said, you are going to be wanting to get to that safe space as soon as you can.
Absolutely the case. We are getting reports out of Cole now very slowly, but one report here of a leveled home out of Cole, Oklahoma. It also looks like, according to some VROT techniques, the odds are that this was a strong to violent tornado, EF3 to EF4, in terms of winds. But again, this is just experimental calculations. We won't know the actual rating until later. This just kind of gives us a preliminary look at how strong the tornado could have been. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's move back now to the Oklahoma cell.
Oh, that is a couplet and a half.
And my goodness, that has reconnected now. We have a very strong couplet now. And coupled with that, I think we have a debris ball there too. I think that's a debris ball. I don't think that's precipitation.
Yeah, I would agree with that, given that the gate-to-gate shear is nearing 200 miles an hour on that
Oh
thing.
my goodness. Yeah, okay. Damaging, dangerous, large tornado likely on the ground again north of Etowah in the state of Oklahoma. If you guys know anyone in the path of this thing near Burnett, get them to their safe place. Call them, text them, whatever you need to do. Beyond that, downstream, if I'm in Shawnee, if I'm in Turksmith, any of those areas, again, I'm getting to my safe place. A strong, damaging, dangerous tornado is on the ground now. This has not been upgraded by the Weather Service. They still have this as radar indicated rotation, but again, there it is. It's observed now. Damaging tornado and golf ball sized hail. It's radar confirmed. Not PDS, but if I'm in Cleveland or Potawatomi counties, you're in a tornado warning until 9:30 p.m. That includes southeastern Norman, Etowah, and southern Lake Thunderbird for a confirmed damaging, dangerous tornado currently on the ground heading north of Burnett, heading in the general direction of Morven and Brooksville. Now, Burnett's in the warning. Morven and Brooksville not in the warning at this time. However, it could change at any moment. That is a very strong tornado that is on the ground there in the state of Oklahoma with that cell. It has managed to put down another one, and this time the structure of the cell looks much cleaner.
Oh my goodness. The gate-to-gate values I'm getting on this, 236 miles an hour on this latest frame.
Okay, so this is really bad. This is really dangerous, and this is rapidly strengthening. So if I'm near Burnett, if I'm north of Burnett, getting to my safe place right now, I'm going to track this out for you. Storm moving at about 20 miles an hour, so of course we're going to go aggressive with the 25. But yeah, it's moving towards Highway 102 north of Burnett. Morven, Brooksville, that's what, Tukasmith? Correct me if I'm wrong there. Watch out. If I'm in Shawnee, same thing. Romulus, Macomb, watch out. There is a damaging, dangerous tornado that is on the ground, and that is now a PDS tornado warning. So again, it's been upgraded to a PDS tornado warning for a damaging, dangerous tornado. It is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado near Etowah, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So again, if I'm in southeastern Norman, Etowah, or southern Lake Thunderbird, get into my safe place right now. That is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado there, and we have another storm there that's hooking near Norman. Another storm hooking near Norman. Very weak couplet, but that is rotating. So that's something else to watch. But a strong, damaging, dangerous tornado there, currently occurring in Cleveland and Potawatomi counties in the state of Oklahoma there, north of Etowah, heading towards Burnett. Goodness gracious. That's bad.
It very much is a bad situation. Just the radar signature, like that is a signature that you'd probably see on a high-end tornado.
Yeah.
I'm just at a loss for words at just how quickly this thing has reorganized.
Yeah, that's rather unfortunate. And yeah, oh my goodness. Sorry, didn't mean to pull up the Microsoft store there. That's probably not what you're wanting to see right now. But yeah, damaging, dangerous tornado there, currently north of Burnett, and there it is. New tornado warning now in place there. That's north, so that includes Pink, that includes Morven. That's a particularly dangerous situation as well. So let's talk about it. There's a new tornado warning now in place for Cleveland and Potawatomi counties in central Oklahoma. This one a bit more of a northward steering with it. And that couplet looks a little weaker in the latest frame, but still quite strong. So I'm still concerned about this. That's in place until 9:30 p.m. for a particularly dangerous situation that is a damaging, dangerous tornado. So if I'm in Eastern Norman, Pink, or Little Axe, I'm getting to my safe place right here, right now, as this extremely dangerous situation does begin to unfold. That is a considerable damage threat with the 1 3/4 inch hail as well. Let's track this out for you here as this is heading in the general direction of Pink, Oklahoma. So again, if you're in the general direction of Pink, it's time to get to your safe place. Moving at about 20 miles an hour according to the Weather Service, so we're going to go with the 25. But if I'm in Pink, this thing's going to hit in about 10 minutes. You got about 10 minutes until this hits you. Morven, that'd be about 15. But again, regardless, this is extremely dangerous and needs to be treated as such. That is a particularly dangerous situation. That is a large tornado on the ground there. Large, damaging, dangerous, and you can see it there on Radar Omega right where it is. This thing is about to cross county lines here, and it's going to be heading in the general direction of Pink. The intersection between Highways 9 and 102. That's probably going to be where this is heading in the general direction of. So if I'm in Shawnee, this thing's headed in your general direction. So I'd be watching out. There's no guarantee this is going to hit you. You're in a severe thunderstorm warning anyway. But this is a dangerous situation here. So I'd be watching out. As, again, the Weather Service has gone ahead and upgraded this to a particularly dangerous situation. This is a radar-confirmed, large, damaging, and dangerous tornado. And we can tell where the tornado is, and if you want to watch along with us and be able to tell as well, the hook, where this kind of hooks around, that's where our tornado is. And again, it's moving. It's kind of taking that northward hook there. With time, we can kind of loop this out for you, and you can see there that northward extent as this updraft rapidly organizes. So this is going to probably continue to move north and maybe even flush into the storm eventually, which would be good. But we'll see. It could survive well into the updraft. So we're going to continue to watch this very, very closely. I do want to briefly shift our attention to Kansas real quick, just so we can see what's going on up there. Because that was a robust-looking tornadic supercell last we looked at it, and that still looks rather robust. That is a very strong couplet there. I'm going to move our radar up to that so you guys can see as well.
I'm going to get a gate-to-gate reading on that really quick.
Okay.
That looks to be, upwards of 100 miles an hour now.
Yeah, so that's a stronger tornado there, likely on the ground. Again, observed. So likely a stronger tornado there heading in the general direction of Americus and Dunham. It's probably going to go north of Plymouth, and Toledo and Saffordville. But doesn't matter. If you're in a tornado warning for this thing right now, you need to be in your safe place. Now, if you're in Cottonwood Falls or Strong City, you're in the clear. But areas ahead of that, not really. So if you're in Chase County, you're in a tornado warning until 9:45. Um, that's for mostly rural areas there in northern Chase County. Um, and then we do have that tornado warning for Morris and Leon counties until 9:45 in the state of Kansas. And that's for a law enforcement confirmed tornado heading towards Emporia, Americus, and Dumlip. So if you're in any of those areas, including I-35 between mile markers 28 and 30, 128 and 131, or the Kansas Turnpike between mile markers 126 and 137, you need to get to your safe place right now. What does that look like? That's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or closet, as this still looks like it is a rather strong tornado that is on the ground. And as much as I'd love to just keep covering this, we got to go back to our particularly dangerous situation in the state of Oklahoma, because that has really just been the story of the night. Good news is that looks substantially weaker than
Indeed, the
it
gate to
once
gate
was.
values have decreased to about 120 miles an hour, down from near 235 miles an hour earlier. So that is some very good news. And it looks like the 235-mile-an-hour gate to gate values were mainly over rural areas. So if there's any good news out of that storm, it's probably that. However, if you're in pink, you're still likely under the gun for some tornado impacts, if not um, large hail impacts. So you should be getting that safe space anyways until the tornado warning has been lifted for your area.
Absolutely. Regarding the warning to the south, if I'm in Burnett, if I'm in Etowah, I'm going to give you the clear. This thing's going to move north of you. But if you're in pink, if you're in Morven right now or anywhere in between, you still got to be in your safe place there. And again, we'll kind of track this out for you so you can get a general idea of where it's headed. That's moving at 20 miles an hour. So again, we'll go aggressive with the 25. Again, pink in 8 minutes, Bethel Arcs in about 22. But yeah, good news that tornado uh, likely much weaker, although it could still be on the ground, could still be causing problems. So, not in the clear yet. This is still a particularly dangerous situation, according to the National Weather Service. Um, so, again, if you're in pink, areas like that, you still need to be in your safe place for now. And if you guys know anyone within these warning areas, please let them know we're here doing this. On top of that, if you guys um, have any questions, comments, concerns, we'll be happy to answer them. That's why we're here. So if you have anything you want to say in the chat, we'd be happy to have a conversation with you as the night continues. We've talked about the Oklahoma storm a bit. I want to move back to the Kansas storm here real quick. Just talk about it. That hook looks much less robust on reflectivity. So that's good news. When it comes to our velocities, though, still a robust, very small, tight, robust couplet with a weak but notable debris signature. So likely still a tornado on the ground there in northern Chase County. So if I'm in northeastern Chase County, then tornado warning until 9:45. That's for a damaging tornado, baseball-sized hail there in mostly rural areas there. But then again, as this moves into Morris and Leon counties, you guys are in a tornado warning until 9:45, and that includes Emporia, Americus, and Dunlip. So definitely a serious situation there. And again, you can see just that very tight, small couplet. I'll actually pull that up for you. You can see there it's very tight, it's very small. But definitely there, and it's definitely robust. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that supercell as it continues its journey. And back to the Oklahoma cell now again.
Looks a lot weaker now.
Good. Good,
Yeah,
good,
there's
good.
barely any negative return values within that couplet anymore, which is a sign of rapid weakening of this couplet.
Definitely the case. Now, if you're in this warning, still need to take it seriously there. If you're in pink, um, this is still a damaging, dangerous tornado as of the last time the Weather Service updated this warning. We'll see what they think here in the future. I'm suspicious of whether there's still a tornado on the ground, but you're in a tornado warning, so you still need to take that quite seriously.
And there could be a new couplet trying to form off to the northeast of the old one, actually, now that I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at it
I see it.
on the latest frame. Um, there does sort of seem to be a new area of negative return values on the velocities.
And that's strengthened rapidly in the
Mm-hmm.
latest frame now. So that might be a new tornado on the ground. So regardless of whether there was a brief lift there, there's likely now a tornado on the ground again. If that one lifted in the first place there, again, heading in the general direction of pink, might go east of it. If I'm in Bethel Arcs, if I'm in Shawnee, I'm watching out. This thing could be heading in your general direction. There's also a hook echo forming behind it with some weaker rotation there near Norman. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if that ends up producing. But a PDS tornado warning remains in effect there for Cleveland and Potawatomi counties until 9:30 p.m. for a damaging, dangerous tornado that is likely on the ground right now on the northern end of this hook now. So, that this feels like a higher end day to me. We have the tornadoes to the north, to the south, across multiple states.
Yeah,
Um,
this feels like at least a moderate risk, if I'm being honest. At least for Oklahoma.
so, I mean, this was a difficult day to forecast. We knew that Oklahoma could have gone big, and it has. Um, I'm just checking on the Kansas storm. Good news with the Kansas storm, it's weakened considerably. But before I even go there, yeah, that storm in Oklahoma is rapidly rematerializing. So, oh my, okay. Um, yeah, there's a big time debris ball there. So, if I'm near pink, I'm in my safe place. There is a damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground. Again, that's for Cleveland and Potawatomi counties until 9:30 p.m. It's a particularly dangerous situation for a damaging tornado in eastern Norman, Pink, and Little Axe. That's where it's heading towards. Um, Something else I'd like to note, we're now in the nighttime. You're not going to be able to see this thing. Probably not going to hear it very much before it hits you. Get underground, take shelter, do the smart thing, and do it now.
Yeah, and these tornadoes, like some of them are also going to be rain wrapped, which is another threat, which means that you're going to be able to see it coming even less. So, whatever you do, do not attempt to go outside and look at the tornado. You're not going to see it coming. And yeah, it's just a
Abs-
bad idea.
Absolutely the case. Should be noted now the Weather Service has issued an update to the tornado warning. So a tornado warning no longer in effect for Cleveland County. This is moved out of Cleveland County. This thing is now in Potawatomi County for a damaging tornado and golf ball sized hail. That is still radar confirmed. They have dropped the PDS tag. Again, they've dropped the PDS tag, and the couplet looks weaker. So I can understand why that might be, but that debris ball is just gigantic. Goodness gracious. So yeah, if I'm in pink, I'm in my safe place right now. Again, pink is the big location here, and places to the east. If I'm east, especially if I'm near the intersection of highways 9 and 102 near pink between Tescamush and pink, you need to be in your safe place as well. If I'm in Bethel Arcs, you're just outside of this warning. If I'm on the southern side of Bethel Arcs, I'm in my safe place. Shawnee, you need to be in your safe place, or not just yet. If you're in Shawnee, uh, you need to be watching out. I'm sorry, you don't need to be in your safe place right now. There's not a big, huge, damaging, dangerous tornado on the way, at least yet. The tornado warning is not in place for you, so my apologies there. Bad news there. The couplet near Norman is tightening up, and that looks like it might be a debris. That's hard to tell. It's too close to the radar. I'm not going to draw that conclusion. However, that's pretty new. That
Yeah, it
just
does appear to be
came up.
tightening up, so
So if
I
I'm near
would agree with you.
Denver, Stella, you're not in a tornado warning now, but I'd be getting to my safe place anyway, personally. If I'm in Denver, Little Axe, Stella, in the state of Oklahoma, I'm getting to my safe place here as this is hooking. This is definitely hooking. And there it is, tornado warning now in place for that. Just came out. And yeah, that's tightening up rather rapidly. And that could be a debris signature there. The tornado warned storm, the storm near Pink, it's moving just to the east of you. So again, be careful there. That's moving just to the east of you, and that's going to be heading in the general direction of Bethel Arcs. Our other tornado warned storm now near Denver, and that is heading generally east. Now Pink within tornado warnings for both of these. Uh, Jeez Louise. So yeah, Denver, Little Axe. Now you guys are in a tornado warning as well. And that's, again, going to be in place. We have a tornado warning now in place again for Cleveland County and another one for Potawatomi County until 9:45 for a tornado and golf ball-sized hail. That's in eastern Norman, Pink, Lake Thunderbird, and Little Axe. As this dangerous situation continues to unfold here. So, my goodness. Bad night for Oklahoma. Bad night for Oklahoma.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Thomas. Just the threat is over verified, honestly. We did see that there was potential for some pretty strong tornadoes, although I doubt that anybody was really expecting this many of them to actually occur.
Yeah, my goodness. So bad situation there, very bad situation there. And yeah, that tornado warned storm near Pink, when that was down farther south near Etowah, that was a large tornado that was on the ground. Now we don't know what it looks like now. The couplet looks broader. Both of these look somewhat broad, which is good, but they are tornado warned, and so we're going to continue to monitor these. As if they do have tornadoes down, and you still need to treat them that way. If any of you know anyone here in the southern Oklahoma City metro, east of Norman, near Shawnee, Pink, areas like that, Denver, Oklahoma, Etowah, send them this stream so that way they can keep an eye on the situation as it unfolds. And even farther south from that, we do have storms near Duncan and Lindsay as well. As we move north here, I do want to check in on our Kansas cell briefly. That cell's still a chugging. Up there in the state of Kansas, still has its tornado warning on it. So we're going to continue to look at that. Latest radar data indicates that this has weakened considerably. I'm suspicious of whether there's even a tornado on the ground. Regardless, if you're in Morris or Leon counties, you're in a tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. for a damaging tornado. Baseball-sized hail up there. And that's from Emporia, Americus, and Dunlap. So if you're in those areas, you still need to be in your tornado safe place. And again, that looks like the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or closet, something of that nature. As this unfortunate situation continues, dare I say, tornado outbreak.
I would call it a tornado outbreak at this point. There have been quite a few tornadic storms, and I think it's safe to say that it probably does meet outbreak criteria to some degree.
I'd be inclined to agree. If we could just update some stream details, if you have the chance at some point, real quick, Elliot, that would be good. And there's a new tornado warning that just came out. I'm going to go over it right now. This one does include Bethel Arcs. So there it is. It's right there. It includes Shawnee, it includes Tesmix, it includes Gaddy and Bethel Arcs. So there is a tornado warning for northwestern Potawatomi County and central Oklahoma until 10 p.m. for a tornado and golf ball-sized hail, as well as radar-indicated rotation. So this is going to impact Shawnee, Tuxmish, Pink, Brooksville, and Bethel Acres. And that's for radar-indicated rotation, so it's good news. It looks like they've downgraded this to radar-indicated rotation, as well as 1 3/4 inch hail. Yeah, not much of it. It might be a CC drop. There might still be a tornado in there. It's hard to tell. Regardless, still, this needs to be treated quite seriously as it continues its march northward. With the storm near Denver, yeah, there's a bit of a hook there. That couplet has tightened some. However, structure on that is looking questionable now as well, so that's good news. But that tornado warning still remains in place for Cleveland and Potawatomi counties until 9:45 p.m. And then, again, I want to move back north because I don't want to leave anyone out here. I want to talk about our Kansas storm. And that Kansas storm now has a very small tornado warning on it. They have downgraded this to radar-indicated rotation, so that's good news, although there is a more robust inflow notch and an inflow surge on it. There doesn't look to be a CC drop. There doesn't look to be anything suspicious in terms of an actual tornado on the ground. However, you're still in the tornado warning there near Americus to places like Dunlip. It's out of Dunlip now, so Americus, the primary place in that tornado warning for tornado and baseball-sized hail now. And that includes Kansas Turnpike between mile markers 134 and 137. So we're going to continue to cover this as time goes on, but we have that cell in Kansas. And then as we move south, we do have those storms in Oklahoma. And Elliot, I still can't thank you enough for joining me. I do appreciate it.
Always of course, nice. Thomas. Honestly, it's a pleasure just being here and being able to provide live coverage, answer people's questions. And once again, if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. Thomas or myself will answer them to the best of our ability.
Absolutely the case. And it does look like that couplet near Pink, now north of Pink, has strengthened again with this storm. So again, that's near Bethel Arcs, likely going to go west. Again, as that moves northward, that is moving at a speed of 10 miles per hour. This thing is chugging. So I'm just going to kind of move this north here. Say it's moving at 15. And yeah, I mean, you can just see it's moving north. But if I'm in Bethel Arcs, Gaddy, Shawnee, this storm could recycle. There are all kinds of things that could happen here. And then again, our storm near Denver and Stella. Currently with the couplet over around Little Arc, it's definitely of concern. We do now have a CC drop with the storm near Pink. The couplet looks rather weak, but it's very small. But there is a CC drop with that, so there is a tornado on the ground. There north of Pink. Again, that's a tornado on the ground north of Pink, heading west of Bethel Arcs. And that's going to include into the storm. So I don't anticipate this is going to get super strong like the previous ones did. I don't anticipate that this is going to go super crazy. It could. I don't think it will. And I'm really hoping here the tornado potential is going to start dying down within the next half hour to an hour or so. And again, our cell up in Kansas now is rapidly reorganizing as well. So bad situations all around, unfortunately, it looks like. And it does look like these two supercells might be merging, which we don't like to see, because that means that this could last longer. Hopefully they destructively interfere with each other, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, that debris signature has become more robust now. So that's definitely a tornado on the ground north of Pink. Now directly west of Bethel Arcs. So it's currently on the ground. That's just crossed Harsty Road near North 331. And it's going to be crossing near where North 331 and East 1170 cross. It's going to be crossing just to the east of there. heading in the general direction of Dale and Clark's Heights. So there's a tornado on the ground heading in the general direction of Dale and Clark's Heights at this time. Tornado's right there. It's moving northward. So that's what we're seeing right now, unfortunately. Our other couplet there looks significantly weaker, but still not gone, with the storm near Little Axe heading in the general direction of Pink. And then again, I'm going to go back to our Kansas storm here if I can. For just a moment. I want to just check in on that, see how that's doing, because it looks suspicious.
Just a quick pronunciation thing.
Yes?
It's Bethel Acres. Just figured I'd let you know, Thomas.
Bethla Acres. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica from chat, for letting us know. D World says, is this your profession, or have you learned about the weather throughout the years? Our team here at Advective Weather is all meteorology students, or students in adjacent majors, so we are planning to do this for our future careers. So yeah, we're actually going to college to study about the weather, so that's one of the nice things about Advective Weather that we are proud of. So yeah.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. We do want to make clear that we're not we're not degreed. We haven't graduated college, and so what we do is we disseminate information from the officials. And we do our best to kind of break that down. But that's why you'll note that we don't really make our own forecasts much. You don't see us making our own claims overly often. We're not quite at a point where we feel like we have the authority to do that. So that's why we kind of go off of the officials, but you'll notice that we do talk about debris signatures, more meteorological breakdowns of things, what we're suspicious of, but we never really say that what we think is gospel, because we haven't had the formal education yet like the folks at the Weather Service. So those guys, they're the gold standard. Speaking of warnings, though, new tornado warning in place now for a confirmed tornado in Oklahoma. Very strange storm motion there, damaging tornado and golf ball sized hail. This tornado warning is in place until 9:45 for northeastern Cleveland and northwestern Potawatomi counties. And this includes southeastern Oklahoma City. So if I'm in southeastern Oklahoma City, I'm getting to my safe place right now. Because this thing is hooking back in your general direction. That's going to include Nuella and Stella, just outside of there. And again, that's an observed tornado now. It's a confirmed tornado on the ground there. And this is moving northwest at 5 miles per hour. It is crawling and it's moving west. So
that is a very strange motion for a tornado. Normally you see northeastward motion or east-northeast. That's generally the kind of motion that you'd see, but no, this thing is moving northwest, which is definitely one of the weirder storm motions we've seen. Although on the latest frame, it does seem to be weakening substantially, and the couplet near Bethel Acres seems to be the dominant one now in this latest frame.
Yeah, the couplet near Bethel Acres is looking rather concerning there. That's kind of new. So we'll see what happens there. But this supercell is not letting up at all. We also have that couplet there near Pink. That's tight as well. So if I'm in Pink, I'm still in my safe place. If I'm in Bethel Acres, I'm in my place. If I'm in Shawnee, I'm in my safe place as well. It's just a chaotic situation there with these supercells that look like they're kind of merging together. I do want to briefly check in on Kansas if possible. And you'll notice there our cell, it's nearly moving out of the tornado warned area. It's got a bit of a hook, but rotation looks lackluster. There's a small area there of rotation to the south, but there's not really a hook associated with it. So here's what I mean. We have our main area where the tornado was here. That's moving pretty normally, and this is kind of where you'd expect your tornado to be, because you have that hooking, rotating motion. However, it looks like this new little notch here, where this looks to be where we could be getting some new rotation, where a new tornado could touch down. So no warning in place here for areas ahead of this. America's in the clear now as well. So if I'm in Miller, if I'm in Reading, or it's Reading, one of the two, Wilmington, I'm watching closely as this continues to move. Now in the general direction of the Topeka Metro, although it shouldn't get there, as I think a boundary is going to keep it from getting there, but still, that's substantial to say the very least. So, and bad news, the Bethel Acres and Pink couplets both have tightened up some. And it looks like we might have a tornado debris signature now with the storm near Pink. So that's for a tornado warning for east central Cleveland and eastern Petaluma counties for a tornado and golf ball sized hail. They have this as radar indicated rotation, although again, I suspect there could be a tornado on the ground there near Pink. New tornado warning in Kansas. I want to take care of that real quick. Then we'll move back. But there is a new tornado warning in the state of Kansas, so a tornado warning is in place for Osage and Lean counties until 10 p.m. for a tornado. Radar indicated, so that's for Osage City, Allen, and Admer. So if you're in any of those areas, get to that safe place right now. And as we move south to the supercell complex, quickly looking to become a dominant supercell near Pink, I'm concerned with both of these couplets. The one near Pink is tightening rather quickly. It looks to have a weaker tornado debris signature. And the one near Bethel Acres now definitely on the ground as well. There's a correlation coefficient drop there. So we have two tornadoes on the ground. I'm going to pull this up for you right now so you can see what we're talking about. Our first tornado is north of Bethel Acres, right next to Gaddy. So if you're in Gaddy, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. This thing is nearly on top of you. If I'm in Pink, you can see here this kind of debris-ish signature. I don't know for sure if that's a tornado on the ground, but let's treat it like it is. There's strong couplets with both of these. So two tornadoes likely on the ground right now, and we could have that third one there moving through still on the ground as well. So we may have three tornadoes simultaneously on the ground with this. One heading in the general direction of Stella, one heading in the general direction of Pink, and one heading in the general direction of Bethel Acres at this time. And a new tornado warning has just come out there for the storm near Bethel Acres. They've just updated that, so it is now observed. So the Weather Service now talking about how that is a confirmed tornado there north of Bethel Acres. Storm near Pink. That's tighter, and it's hard to tell with the correlation coefficient what's going on there.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit close to the radar to really properly use the correlation coefficient function at this time, but it would not be surprising if there was a correlation coefficient, a tornado on the ground near Pink at the moment.
In the three regions
we are
I've
seeing
circled,
a CC drop near Bethel Acres, actually, so yeah.
And the Weather Service upgraded that to observed. So let's just talk about these three different tornadic circulations in a bit more detail. The one near Pink, that's moving east. So if I'm in Bethel Acres, if I'm in Shawnee, if I'm in Tishmas, or Tecumseh, I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize, but you can see me circling it on my screen. You need to stay in your safe place, even if this is moved through. You are not in the clear. Again, you are not in the clear. Another tornado warning there. It's moving towards Stella. Stella not in a tornado warning. However, this could be rather serious as it moves in that general direction. And our dominant circulation here is near Pink. Again, and that storm near Bethel Acres heading towards Clark's Height, Johnson, areas like that. So three different circulations, complicated pattern to keep track of for sure. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it, though. Bethel Acres correlation coefficient drop remains, although it's a bit weaker. Difficult to diagnose what's going on here with our potential tornado moving to the northwest And our pink couplet also very close to the radar, so it's somewhat difficult to diagnose, but it does look somewhat tight. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this for at least the next half hour or so.
Someone in chat's saying, what's the situation for Choctaw, Oklahoma? The good news for Choctaw is most of the stuff is going to be south of you at this time, although there is some pretty heavy precipitation ongoing there right now. It does look like you are out of the severe warned storms. The closest severe warning is set to expire momentarily, and that would be for hail. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are getting maybe some small hail, given the high reflectivity values we're seeing there on the radar. However, there's not really going to be a tornado threat in your area at this time, and the precipitation does look to be moving out of your region within the next hour or so at most.
Absolutely the case there. Also, just want to note, when you do have comments, questions, concerns for us, if you put them in the chat multiple times, it's not going to change when we see it. It doesn't make us see it more. It's a matter of when we just have time to look, because there's a lot going on. So I apologize that we didn't get to that in a timely manner. However, it's not going to help if you put it in the chat many times. So that's what we're looking at the moment. But again, thank you for your question. I do appreciate the interaction. We do love to see people interacting with us and asking us questions. That's what we're here for. We want to help out. So we're going to do our best to do that. And yeah, it does look like this is merging, which is bad. Bad news for pink. A very bad news for pink.
Yeah, there's definitely a very sharp velocity gradient on that couplet near pink, and that does suggest that there likely are some pretty damaging winds ongoing within the couplet there. So pink, you should be getting to your shelter now if you live there. Interior room, basement, cover your head, preferably with a pillow or a helmet if you have one. So yeah, just get to a safe space now if you are in pink.
Absolutely. We do have a question in the chat. Just someone talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. What concerns we have for Tulsa? Someone saying, I'm in pink. Do I take cover? You absolutely take cover. If you're in pink, you take cover right now. There is a circulation likely moving over you. You are within, I think, literally 3-4 tornado warnings from different circulations. So yes, if you're in pink, especially on the northern side, get to your safe spot. So it's lowest level, sturdy building, interior room. If you have a basement, go to the basement. If you don't, just a bathroom, a closet, something like that, that's preferable. Is this some sort of life-threatening, super bad tornado right now? No. Could it be in a few minutes? Absolutely. So again, get to your safe spot here. These storms are moving more slowly, so that's of more concern. Kay, if you're watching the stream, just make sure that all of our stream stuff, SEO tags, all that stuff's just taken care of, please, if you can. And Elliot, you can also check that when you have the chance as well. Couple of questions here in chat. Someone asking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Is this moving into the Tulsa metro? This big cell, the one of concern here, is going to move south of Tulsa. But Tulsa itself, you have an arc of thunderstorms moving in your general direction. They're right about here. They're moving in the general direction of Tulsa. They'll be here soon. But they're non-severe right now. So if I'm in Tulsa, I'd still be watching out just in case. But if I pull up the Storm Prediction Center's outlook, you're in a slight risk for severe weather. So yeah, I'd just continue to keep a close eye on things with time here.
Someone
As
in
the
chat
situation
is
continues.
asking about Bartlesville, Oklahoma. It does look like most of the severe threat is going to be to the south of you. However, you still could get some thunderstorms tonight from basically what we've been seeing so far. That's just the best guess that we have at the moment. So I would keep on the lookout, although I do think that the tornado threat in Bartlesville is not going to be nearly as significant as what we've been seeing in the OKC metro.
absolutely the case. Um, so, uh, Colty asking, I'm covering pink. How long until I can move? We'll let you know when you're in the clear. At this time, I need to find out which tornado warning here is going the longest. Goodness. We'll go with this one. Uh, until 10 p.m. I'd say until 10 p.m. We'll give you an update before or at 10 p.m. on the situation there. If not before, as we continue to track this complicated situation. Uh, but yeah, my goodness. Yeah, that couplet's a mess. But it's small, it's tight, it's next to pink. That one there near Bethel Acres, north of there, no longer a CC drop, but there's still a couplet, and we still have a couplet there. Moving northwest, it's kind of now decoupled from the thunderstorm entirely, so I expect that'll die out soon as well, but that's very complicated. Quickly
Yeah,
going to go
this
up,
whole supercell has just been a mess.
I'm going to quickly go up to Kansas, check in on our tornado warned storm up there. It looks pretty elongated. The structure has deteriorated some. It's more linear. There's not much of a couplet on it, which is good news. Still a tornado warning in place until 10 p.m. for west central Osage and northeastern Lean counties. That's for tornado and 2-inch diameter hail. That's for Osage City, Allen, and Edmer. So that's what we're looking at there. But again, back to this Oklahoma cell. I'm going to do a deep dive breakdown of this real quick, more technical breakdown. Elliot, do you have anything you want to talk about or mention before I go into this technical breakdown? Because this could be a little bit.
I do not. You can go right ahead, Thomas.
Okay, so before I talk about where everything is, I just want to talk about kind of the general structure of this cell. This was once two supercells, and now it's merging into one. So we have our first dominant cell. You can see the inflow right here, and then our rear flank downdraft here, and that's our first point of rotation. And that's the dominant one. Our second point is up here with this supercell that's kind of merging with the first. You'll notice now that we have rain-cooled air merging into this. It's going to be very difficult for this to strengthen into much. This will likely just merge and fizzle out. But there's our second area of rotation, north of Shawnee. Our third area of rotation here was right around here, kind of where this is. It's becoming decoupled with the storm, but that was our third area. And we also have another notch down here. So it's just a lot of different areas of spin, a lot of different areas of rotation, but our dominant area of spin is right here. So let's break down now what exactly we need to look for. So I'm going to go to our velocities. This will make life easier for me, and I'm just going to select our couplets and track them out for you. So our first couplet is near pink. For a tornado potentially moving northeast at 10. And that is a very weak couplet now, which is good news. We are glad that that's weak. But that's moving in this general direction. We're going to go with 15 miles an hour or so. So very slow. So if I'm in Bethel Acres, you got about 18 minutes. If I'm in Gaddy, got about 30 minutes. If I'm in Shawnee, I've got about 39 minutes until that first circulation could be of concern. And if I'm in pink, I'm remaining in my safe place for now. There's another circulation here. It's evident ahead of that. It actually could become the new dominant one, so we'll draw this one out too. So this one, again, getting there around half an hour. That's a velocity increase and a half there. Latest frame. But there's not a return, so we'll see. But yeah, this is starting to tighten up here, south of Bethel Acres. So it's kind of my concern. If I'm in Tixmush, if I'm in Shawnee, I'm in my safe place as well with that circulation. This circulation here is pretty much dying out. There's no major population areas within this warning, but Stella, I'd be watching out for this. And we do have another circulation there near or nearly on top of Clark's Heights. So if I'm in Clark's Heights, I'm in my safe place right now. The Weather Service still keeping this as a radar confirmed tornado. And I'm not really seeing a debris signature with that at this time. So,
Someone in chat is asking, where is Hulbert, Oklahoma in relation to this? Holbert does appear to be well off to the east of the most of the action, from what I'm seeing at least. So that is some good news, I guess. But yeah, Holbert is a good ways off to the east of any significant severe threat. So I think they should be fairly safe. Although I would keep a way to get weather alerts handy for your cousin there in Holbert.
Yeah, general thunderstorm risk for them, not even a severe risk tonight from Storm Prediction Center. Tomorrow, marginal risk. So non-zero risk there. Um, and Colty saying it's very loud there in pink. Um, that's to be expected. But again, you're going to be okay as long as you're in your safe place. So don't worry about it. We're glad that we can assist you through this. And again, if you have any additional questions, if we're talking about a bunch of other stuff as it develops and we don't get around to that update that we told you we'd give you, please remind us in the chat. We'll get it to you, okay? We want to make sure that you're safe. We want to make sure that you're well informed here as the situation continues to unfold with this absolute chaos of tornado warnings in literally every direction. We have a tornado warning for a vector going to the southeast. We have one for the northeast and one for the northwest. I don't know what to say.
This is
That's
certainly one of the strangest supercells I may have ever seen.
agreed. Strongly agreed. Uh, Someone saying their phone is at 5. Okay, so while your phone's on its last few percent is what I'll tell you. If you have any way to get in tune, if you have a TV down there and you can get us on the TV or local broadcast media, do that to stay informed. If not, if you can just wait it out for the next 20 minutes, you're okay. Just 20 minutes. 10 o'clock, I'm pretty confident that you'll be in the clear from this. Elliot, I don't know about you.
I would agree with that. Just sit tight. You're probably going to be fine. As long as you stay in your safe space, you got this.
Absolutely the case. Absolutely the case. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that time as that does continue. And it does look like now near Bethel Acres, we do have another kind of hook there with that northern, goodness gracious, that northern side will not die. Looks like we might have a bit of a debris signature just north of Bethel Acres moving towards Gaddy and Clark's Heights. So if I'm in those areas, I'm getting to my safe place here. Good news. I think all of our tornado warnings, other than the strangeness there off to the northwest, is radar indicated now. But yeah, that couplet there, it's now well east of Pink, near Tiskamish and Bethel Acres. That's tightening now. There's quite the hook there too, and I think that might be a bit of a debris signature. So we just might have a tornado on the ground here south of Bethel Acres. So you might have one north and south of you at this time. That's crazy. And then another little inflow there near Pink. It's just crazy structure tonight. All right. Ran outside into the storm shelter. That's generally good if you know you're in the tornado warning earlier. If in the situation you were in, just in case in the future, like you see the storm is near Pink, I'd stay in the home. Because if you go outside and it's right there, that could be really bad. But ended well, just fine. If you're in Pink, the danger seems to have passed. I'd stay in my shelter for the next 15 minutes. After that, I think the danger's passed. I think you're good to go. Someone asking here, when are we predicting this to weaken? We can actually take a look at some future radar for this. I'm going to look at it internally, but I'm going to keep this up on the screen because this is, oh goodness. Um, this is looking kind of nuts. We'll actually go over that in just a bit because that couplet's rapidly tightening now. Um, there near Bethel Acres, and there's now a new tornado warning in place with that for Punawambi County until 10:15 p.m. for a tornado and golf ball sized hail as
Oh
that
yeah, some of
continues.
the velocities on that couplet are already quite concerning.
Yeah,
It is a fairly broad rotation, but I'm getting positive return values near 88 miles an hour and negative return values of near 65 miles an hour on the other side of this, a couple miles away. But yeah, this thing is definitely wrapping up pretty quickly, so I do think we could see another tornado on the ground.
agreed. So if you're in Shawnee, if you're in Tuscaloosa, if you're in Earlsboro, or if you're in Bethel Acres, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now, and that is a robust debris signature and a robust couplet that has tightened up rapidly. We likely have a damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground again with this supercell with quite the radar signature on it. So if I'm in Shawnee, you've got about 5 minutes. Um, if you're in Earlsboro, you've got about 20 minutes. If you're in Neal, you've got about 22 minutes. So that is a dangerous situation that is unfolding there now. Likely another damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground. Um, I'm going to give the all clear for pink. I'm pretty confident now in the all clear for pink. Um,
Yeah, it should be moving out. I would stay in sort of like at least like your house,
oh,
or
for sure.
because lightning can still strike like several miles from the storm. So I would just say stay inside until this thing passes completely. Although I do think that the tornado threat has passed for you. So you should be good to go on that front, Colty.
Yes, so you're good to come out of your shelter. As we move north now to Kansas, no tornado warnings in Kansas anymore. That's good news. Still, though, ping pong ball sized hail with that storm heading towards Topeka. Our primary tornado producing storm here, south there near Shawnee at this time, definitely producing a tornado, and that is a PDS tornado warning now, folks. PDS again does not include pink. I want to repeat for Colty, that does not include you. This is east of you, but there is now a damaging, dangerous, radar-confirmed tornado on the ground. This is a particularly dangerous situation with a confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado near Tixmas, moving east at 25. Again, I apologize if I'm butchering that, but our tornado is right about here, and it's moving eastward. It's going to move into southern Shawnee here shortly. It's going to move towards Earlsboro. But that is a damaging, dangerous tornado there, and that includes I-40 between mile markers 191 and 194. So again, PDS tornado warning back in place for this, heading towards Shawnee. If I'm in Shawnee, this thing has kind of made that northward hook that a lot of these tornadoes have. This thing's heading right for you. So if you know anyone in Shawnee, or if you are in Shawnee, get to your safe place right now, please. Or get anyone you know to their safe place. There's a strong tornado heading right for Shawnee. This thing could make a direct hit at any moment. We're just going to track out how much time they have here. Uh, you've got 5 minutes at most. 5 minutes at most in Shawnee. It is critical that everyone in Shawnee gets to their safe place right here, right now. So please, if you know someone in Shawnee, Oklahoma, or anywhere near that, send them this stream. Tell them this is coming. And that is extremely important. I hate to ask of this too, but if you want to help the algorithm boost the message, you can like this stream as well. That helps boost the algorithm. Likes, clicks, things like that. That's not really what we're in it for, but we do want to get this information out to as many people as possible. And that's what happens when you like the stream. It boosts it, it gets it out to more people, and maybe we can get some more people, just like Colty there a little bit ago, who need information during situations like these. So that's what we're asking for. Again, you do what you want to do, but if you know anyone in Shawnee, regardless of what you do with this stream, you need to tell them to get to shelter right now. That is the first and most important priority, is to get the people of Shawnee in shelter if we can. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, the supercell has just been one thing after another. This is just a very robust circulation that we're seeing on velocity. Yeah, some of the return values I'm getting for this, some of the positive values are over 100 miles an hour now, and some of the negative values are negative 65 miles an hour. So basically, this thing is gate to gate of over 160 miles an hour. Choctaw, Oklahoma should be okay, I think. That's in the east of Oklahoma City, I believe. So, yeah, I think Choctaw, Oklahoma should be okay at the moment. It does look like they were getting some pretty heavy precipitation earlier, although it does look like that should have cleared out by now. So I think Choctaw is safe for the night.
I'd be inclined to agree with that, but my goodness. Yeah, this thing's moving right into Shawnee. If you know anyone in Shawnee, again, get them to their safe place. I cannot stress enough. It looks like a large, damaging, dangerous tornado is about to directly hit Shawnee. It's moving in right now. It's probably over them now. It's moved into the suburbs. It's moving through the city, and again, it looks like a direct hit. Again, if you know anyone there or downstream near Johnson, Neil, call them. Let them know this is coming, please. Big time tornado there, moving right in, and that's just heartbreaking. Just absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, I do think that it is going to end up being a very destructive tornado for Shawnee. So that is not a good situation.
Not at all. Not at all. And again, it's a particularly dangerous situation for you. And you know, I wouldn't even be surprised to for them to issue a last minute Tory on this thing. For Shawnee. You know what though? Regardless, I don't care if this is what it says on the tornado warning. You're in Shawnee. You're in a tornado warning. We know there's a large, damaging, dangerous tornado over you. So if you weren't in your shelter, now's the time. You gotta run. You gotta run now. This thing is heading straight into the middle of Shawnee. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there's a very strong velocity signature right about here, moving into Shawnee. And yeah, it just looks like a direct hit. It just looks like it's straight on.
Yeah, if you're in Shawnee, please just get to an interior room. Find something to cover your head with. Protect yourself from flying debris. And this thing is likely going to level some of the top floors of houses. So always get to the lowest floor you can. Find something to cover your head. Find some blankets to cover your body. And just hunker down, stay safe. This thing is moving in quick.
Absolutely the case. My goodness. Yeah, it's right over it now. Right over it. And that debris signature just went up. Oh, okay. For those,
that's always never a good thing to see.
No. For those that are watching, I apologize if I sound dramatic. I apologize if I sound emotional. I don't like to be dramatic. But I think we just watched at least the eastern side or western side, I'm sorry, Shawnee, and maybe even the whole town eventually take a direct hit from a tornado. And, it's just been a lot tonight. So I apologize if there's kind of a showing of a little bit of a lack of professionalism, if you will, with that. Doing my best, but it's just a lot. It's been an active season, and just to continue to see damaging, dangerous, potentially devastating tornadoes, it is an emotionally taxing situation, and that couplet has just strengthened quite a bit as well as it moves into Shawnee. So
that is never a situation you want to see. Shawnee is a city of about 30,000 people, so hopefully all of those people are hunkering down right now and covering their heads, doing everything they can to stay safe in an interior room.
yeah. National Weather Service Norman has just told us why it is that these storms are moving so weirdly. Normally, when a tornado makes a northward hook like this, the convention is that it's an occlusion, which basically means that couplet is so much stronger now as it moves into northern Shawnee. But the Weather Service in Norman has said the reason for these erratic motions is because circulations are doing Fujiwara effects around each other, which from a meteorological perspective is not something I thought I'd hear. You
It
hear that
does
with
make sense,
hurricanes.
though, as
Yeah.
a lot of vortices do rotate around each other due to the Coriolis effect primarily. And that's sort of the basis for the Fujiwara effect, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But yeah, this is why we've seen a lot of erratic storm motions throughout the evening tonight. Fujiwara effect does come into play for tornadoes that do come within a couple miles of each other.
Absolutely the case. But there it is, that storm there, the tornado north of Shawnee, in the northern side of Shawnee, likely inflicting serious damage right now. And yeah, I mean, Elliot, can you get us a gate-to-gate value at that? Because that is now a deep debris signature over northern
I
Shawnee.
will get you a gate-to-gate value on that. That is not good. That is a gate-to-gate value of 205 miles an hour.
Goodness gracious. Okay. So again, violent tornado, strong to violent tornado likely occurring over Shawnee right now. And as this moves north, we're going to see if we can kind of track this out for you. Again, PDS tornado warning remains in place for north central Potawatomi County. That's for a damaging, dangerous tornado. So if I'm in Shawnee, Tuscaloosa, or Bethel Acres, I'm in my safe place here. That includes I-40 between mile markers 191 and 194. And as this moves north, it looks like it's going to move in the general direction of I-40, Interstate 40, heading towards Johnson. And they have now just issued a new PDS tornado warning well to the north of the previous one. So it's the one up here. I'll see if I can change it back to the normal radar so you can see it better. But here it is, new PDS tornado warning, now in place for a weather spotters confirmed tornado now. And the velocities just got a whole lot stronger in the latest frame than they were before. Strongest wind I'm seeing on one side is 134 miles an hour, and on the other, I'm seeing strongest winds of about 90. So
That's
very, very strong.
that is a very intense tornado on the ground.
It's for sure. But if I am in Potawatomi County, you're in a tornado warning until 10:15 for a weather spotter confirmed tornado in Shawnee and Johnson. And that includes I-40 between mile markers 182 and 190. Again, that is a considerable damage threat there as this continues its northward movement. That is a strong, damaging, dangerous tornado now well to the north of Shawnee. Shawnee proper, the very center of town, although it's still on the northern side. So if I'm in Shawnee, I'm still in my safe place, but it looks like the center of circulation might be north of you.
Yeah, I am
Regardless.
seeing some debris lofted in the correlation coefficient as well, which, yeah, it's never something that you want to see that happen after a tornado moves through a town.
No, not at all. Not at all. So that's a damaging, dangerous tornado there. If I'm Bethel Acres, I'm giving you the clear now. So if you're in Bethel Acres, I think you're in the clear for this thing. So keep that in mind. If I'm in Tulsa, just because I know someone asked earlier, looks like storms are relatively weak there. Again, the only tornado warnings now are in place with this supercell. And we have that one damaging, dangerous tornado we're tracking heading towards Etalot. Although you're not in the warning, Clark's Heights is in the warning, so you need to get to your safe place. And again, that includes chunks of Interstate 40, including where Highway 18 and 40 intersect, where Highway 3W and 40 intersect as well. Includes 177 intersecting with Highway 40. So, yeah, it's just a large, damaging, dangerous tornado moving northward right now. The couplet here does look a bit more disheveled now in the latest frame. It's not as tight, but it's still very, very strong. The wind returns with that kind of muddled up, but still robust debris signature. So likely a tornado remains on the ground at this time. Um, but yeah, it's a dangerous situation. Dangerous situation. I'm going to check social media real quick for updates. I'll also check the chat, see if we have any questions, comments, concerns. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please ask them. We'll be glad to answer them. If you know anyone here within Clark Heights or Shawnee, please contact them. Let them know that this is coming. Um, and then also, beyond that, um, send them the stream if you can as well. If you want to give this a boost so we can get this information out, you can also um, send uh, send them the stream, like the stream, things like that. Get the algorithm pumped up so that way we can get this information to as many people as possible. And it looks like we have a new inflow notch now south of Shawnee, heading in the general direction of Neal. Not much rotation with it right now, though, but this tornado warned cell looks absolutely relentless.
That sort of follows the pattern we have been seeing over the past basically 2 hours now with this cell. It's just been cycling over and over and forming new circulations, and those have just been spawning tornadoes
New
for
new PDS tornado warning. I apologize for interrupting here. This includes um, Lincoln and Potawatomi counties until 10:15 for a damaging, dangerous tornado. It's again a particularly dangerous situation, including Shawnee, Meeker, Johnson, and Adelaide. It includes I-40 between mile markers 183 and 188. We warned you guys up there before that this could be extended and heading towards you, and now that is most certainly what it's doing. Still a large, damaging, dangerous tornado. Again, that is weather spotter confirmed. Um, it's now radar confirmed as the source. However, it's still been big, so that is an extremely dangerous situation that continues to unfold tonight. So, my goodness. My goodness.
indeed.
It's been a night.
It really has been a night.
Again, I'm glad I did not have to go at this alone. So,
Yeah, these storms have just been completely blowing pretty much all of the forecasts that we've had for today out of the water. So, yeah, it's just been a very chaotic evening in terms of the weather down in Oklahoma.
it's absolutely the case, and I am not looking forward to the damage that we might see come out of this later. But for now, we need to cover the tornado at hand, which includes this northern warning. Our tornado is currently here between Clarks Heights and Johnson in Oklahoma, and is moving north towards Meeker. So this is the general direction that this is moving, and it is moving there at a speed of 30 miles per hour or so. So this will be in Adelot in about 7 minutes, Meeker in about 13. So please, please, please get to that safe place. If I'm in Johnson, I'm in my safe place. If I'm in Clifton, just outside the warning, I'd still be getting to my safe place for now, as it could be right there at any moment. As this continues its march northward, the radar signature still looks robust. There's a debris signature there. There is a velocity signature that looks somewhat weaker, but it's still there. It's still strong. It's just weaker than it was. Elliot, do you have a new gate-to-gate reading for us on that?
I will get that gate-to-gate reading for you. It looks like, it got quite a bit stronger than the latest frame, actually.
Okay.
We have negative 95 to 95, so that is still 190 miles an hour of gate to gate.
My goodness. So it's still a very strong, intense tornado. Likely on the ground at this time.
Yeah, you just don't see velocities like that and not have a tornado on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in Meeker, you should be getting your safe space now rather than literally any time later. Find something to cover your head with, get to an interior room or basement or an outdoor tornado shelter if you have one. There's still time to get into one of those. But yeah, find something to cover your head with and cover your body with and take shelter. This thing is dangerous and it's coming your way, so be prepared.
Absolutely the case. Cannot stress enough to be prepared, as this situation does continue to unfold. Again, if you're in Meeker, time to get to that safe place. If I'm in Edelode, I'm also getting to my safe place. This thing's heading in the general direction of both. At this time there on Highway 18. This thing is currently west of Highway 18. We might cross it, but it currently almost looks like it's going due north to me. So we'll see, but it is enduring the current conditions. This is still a strong tornado. Again, heading in the general direction of Alote. And yeah, I mean, that's still very, very strong there as it marches northward toward Meeker. So if I'm in Alote or Meeker, again, safe place, lowest level, sturdy building, interior room.
And it looks like there's almost a bit of a westward component in those latest frames, which is honestly kind of weird because, like, as we mentioned earlier, typical storm motion is more of east-northeast to northeast, and these storms have been having very erratic storm motions tonight. National Weather Service is saying that the Fujiwara effect is in play, where multiple vortices compete for dominance and they sort of rotate around each other. And this is sort of what we're seeing. And this is why we're seeing a northward storm motion out of this cell that's heading toward Meeker.
Absolutely the case. And because these are so erratic, I don't care if you're in Johnson even. Like these are moving so weird. I think that if you're in Meeker, if you're in Johnson, if you're in Adelote, I don't care. If you're in that polygon, You need to get to your safe place right here, right now, as this tornado continues to move northward. I'd also like to note there is a bit of divergence, actually, it appears, there to the south, so that's good news over there. But yeah, I mean, that couplet there, that looks robust still. That actually looks better in the latest frame in terms of organization, and that CC drop is more clear as well. So a tornado is still ongoing for sure, damaging, dangerous, heading in the general direction of Meeker. It's really getting wrapped up on reflectivity. If I'm an Adelaide, I need to be in my safe place right now. Right now, this thing is headed for you. So particularly dangerous situation remains. Please get in your safe place. This tornado is still ongoing, and you have mere minutes. If you're in Meeker, again, Clifton, please get to your safe place as this continues its northward movement in your general direction. Seattle, you got 4 minutes at most. Meeker, 10 minutes. Clifton, 13. And yeah, I mean, we can see that weak echo hole on reflectivity where this is, and that is a deep debris ball. So there's the debris ball. This is where the tornado is around, give or take a little bit because the storms are tilted. So the radar may have it wrong a little bit. It might show that the actual tornado could be slightly farther west, but it's very close. So if I'm in Adelaide, if I'm in Meeker, again, safe place. If you're in Clark's Height, you're in the clear now. If I'm in Johnson, I'm not in the clear just yet, just because, again, these can be really, really erratic. But it's just a bad situation there. A strong tornado continues to happen. Again, lowest level, sturdy building, interior room. That's the best thing I can say for you to do right now if you're in the path of this thing.
Indeed.
So there it
And
is.
if you have any questions, feel free to put them in chat, and Thomas or myself will try our best to answer them.
Yes, please do. Please do. And again, we can still see that stronger tornado moving to the north, or perhaps even the west here with time. But if I'm in Adelaide, Meeker, Clifton, safe place. If I'm in Johnson, getting heavy rain, could get some large hail with this, still 1 3/4 inch hail with this. So you want to make sure that you're still in your safe place. Strong wind gusts also a possibility. And that Shawnee, Oklahoma tornado, as it was moving into Shawnee, I'm seeing some videos on Twitter of this thing. It was big. It was definitely a wedge. Yeah. My goodness. My goodness, that is a serious situation there. You had a lot. And again, that strong couplet right next to the town. And a new PDS tornado warning has just gone in place even further north. So they are holding the PDS tag with it. And you'll see that polygon on your screen shortly here on radar. There it is. Just came up. That's for Lincoln and Potawatomi counties until 10:45 for a radar confirmed tornado near Shawnee, Meeker, and Adelaide. And again, that debris signature remains robust. That couplet remains robust. So this strong tornado remains. We have 4 PDS tornado warnings in place for this thing. The southern 2 will likely be allowed to expire here shortly. All 3 of these southerly ones actually will. We'll just have the one to the north here. And my hope is that that'll be allowed to expire early, and then hopefully we'll just be done with this mess. But the latest frame showing, it does show a weaker velocity, but a tighter one. And then we're also seeing there a less robust correlation coefficient. But you can see clearly where the tornado is. There's the outflow, there's the inflow, there's the weak echo hole. That's where the tornado is, heading north generally towards Meeker. But if I'm in Johnson, I'm now giving you the clear. Clark's Height, you're in the clear. Shawnee in the clear. Bethel Acres in the clear. It's Meeker, Jacktown, Clifton, and Payson, generally, that are in problem land here. Again, that's for Lincoln and Putawambe counties. For Shawnee, Meeker, and Adelote that are within that warning. But again, if you're in Payson or Jacktown, also need to get to your safe place. You're within the polygon too. So there we are. The good news is that this couplet is weakening for sure, but a tornado is still on the ground. It still seems to be strong, but it does look like it might be weakening. So I want to tell you the good news where it is, but you can't take this any less seriously. There were many other tornadoes that had weakened tonight, and, well, you can see we're currently here. Another strong one touchdown from the storm. So even if this one dies out, which it is not dead right now, it is still on the ground, it is still strong. Even if this one dies out, you've still got many more opportunities for tornado genesis from the storm later tonight. So please note that. To the east here, we have a bit of a broader couplet east of Johnson, heading near Prague, Garden Grove, Centerview. This could be the catalyst of another tornadic circulation, and you'll notice there is that a splitting supercell, Elliot? Are we seeing this circulation with this tornado become a part of a left split?
Honestly, I would not rule that out.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
This cell has just been. I don't know what to say about this cell other than
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I haven't seen anything like this either.
But yeah, in Seminole, Lincoln, and Putawambe counties until 11 p.m. we have golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with the right split. No tornado possible. The PDS tornado with our left split at the moment. So again, here near Meeker. And I'm going to bring this north, moving at 30. And you'll notice there it gets towards Clifton in about 9 minutes. It's just north of Adelote now, but I'd still be in my safe place there. Jacktown, you've got about 8 minutes. Meeker, the same. Payson, you've got less than 15. So that's the current track of this thing, as this extremely dangerous situation continues to unfold up there.
And honestly, I would not be surprised if this the right split cell does get tornado warned at some point in the near future, given that that couplet is, well, while fairly broad, it is starting to look a little bit more defined on more recent frames.
Absolutely the case, and I cannot stress enough, especially at night, do not wait to see these things, do not wait to hear these things. This is absolutely absurd. So, my goodness. Yeah, that supercell is definitely splitting.
Yeah, that's a debris ball near Meeker as well.
Yeah.
Well, heading toward Meeker, I should say.
Yeah.
So this thing is definitely still on the ground.
It's smaller, though.
It is smaller, so that is the good news.
And the rotational velocity is weaker. So here's the way things look right now for our folks in this PDS tornado warning. Our tornado is likely right around here. It is moving north. If you're in Meeker, you need to be in your safe place. If you're anywhere within this polygon, you need to be in that lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room. This is weakening. It is in an unfavorable position to continue to produce a tornado. However, a tornado is still evidently on the ground and still needs to be taken very seriously. This thing has had a history of significant damage, and even weaker tornadoes, assuming this is a weaker tornado, which we technically don't know. They can still break windows. They can still cause injuries due to flying debris. Lowest level, sturdy building, interior room, still a safe bet to make sure that you are out of harm's way. Yeah, that couplet there to the south is materializing rapidly, actually. You'll notice, Elliot, that instead of the reds and greens being perpendicular to the radar beam, they're becoming parallel.
Yes, I have noticed that.
That line, that axis. So we're going from convergence to rotation. And there in the latest frame, it's becoming really obvious that that's rotation. So our Meeker storm's rotation, very weak now. Very weak, but still, that's a tornado-warned storm. So if I'm in Meeker, I'm remaining in my safe place, Clifton, Jacktown, Payson. Over here near Garden Grove, there is a hook echo with this storm. This is likely going to move here to the east, and I am concerned that that's going to be our next tornado.
Yeah, and that would be heading toward Prague, from the current storm motion at least. So if you're in Prague, you may want to be thinking about your plans to get to a safe space, because this thing could be tornado warned fairly soon.
That is the case. Well, we are in a situation where this could be a bit more of a lull here in a moment. Although we still have a PDS tornado warning for Lincoln and Petalum counties, although that CC drop is pretty much gone. And that rotational signature, I'm not convinced. Still, regardless of that, I just say that because I want you guys to know what we're thinking. But again, we are not degreed meteorologists, but we are enthusiasts in college learning about this stuff. So if you're in Meeker, Clifton, Payson, Jacktown, I think you're going to be okay. I think you're safe, but you're still in a PDS tornado warning. So I'd still be in my safe place. Lowest level, sturdy building, interior room. Now to address the question, someone asking why in the last month have we shifted the tornado threat from Southern America to Central America? And the main reason for that is in earlier months, we have large-scale systems that dig farther south, and because it's there, we don't have enough energy to move north. There's less energy in the winter than in the spring. So in the early spring months and the winter months, January, February, March, you only really get enough energy for severe thunderstorms in the southern United States. And that's where you tend to see those severe storms. However, once we get into April and May, we start to see energy start to spike up north. And then we have a much larger region there in the central U.S. that's capable of getting severe storms. So I hope that was a decent explanation of what's going on there. But yeah,
Indeed.
decent. That's basically why. And yeah, that couplet near Meeker is pretty much dead now. So I'm not even sure the storm's rotating that much anymore. It's rotating a little bit. But we'll see. New inflow notch to the south, though, but the velocities aren't that strong. However, with this eastern cell there near Garden Grove, that could get serious pretty quick here. It's not tornado warned, but it could be soon. So if I'm in Centerview, Prague, Paden, Bali, I'm watching out just in case. And then again, if I'm in Meeker, if I'm in Jacktown, Payson, until this expires, be in your safe place. All right? That's what I got to say there. If anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please feel free to ask, and we'll be more than glad to answer them. And assuming that activity doesn't go wild beyond this point, I think we're going to go off the air here at either, what do you want to do, 45 after or top of the hour?
I think 45 after, unless something significant happens.
Yeah. So did you say 45 or 11? I'm sorry.
45.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, but yeah, there's a little bit of a rotation near Meeker. So if there is still a tornado, it's probably weaker. It's right around here, heading north. So again, Meeker, Clifton, Payson, and Jacktown, and even Adelet, because you're now in the inflow notch of New Hook. Stay in that tornado shelter. That remains a PDS tornado warning. That's a particularly dangerous situation. Actually, I'm sorry, they've downgraded that now. It's still a radar-confirmed tornado, according to them. And that tornado warning is for South Central Lincoln and North Central Potawatomi counties. For radar-confirmed tornado for Shawnee, Meeker, and Adelote. Although, again, if I'm in Shawnee, you're pretty much in the clear, but you did get hit by a nastier tornado. And then again, I'm seeing some rotation. It's very broad, but definitely some rotation here to the east. So we'll see if that can materialize into anything. Hopefully not. The capping inversion for these storms, which basically prevents them from directly interacting with the surface, is strengthened. And so hopefully these storms are going to be off the surface of the Earth here pretty soon.
Yeah, the nighttime stability is likely to start returning and preventing any new cells from really firing up. So I do think that we are starting to see more of the sort of back end of this little sequence that we've been seeing.
Be inclined to agree. I do want to check in now. We'll take a look. We'll use the national radar for this. But you can see there our stronger storm here in Oklahoma. That's the one we've been covering. But I want to move north now. You'll notice some stronger storms near Tulsa, but those are not severe. And then we do have a couple of severe storms there east of Topeka, near Lawrence, north of Lawrence, producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1-inch hail. And that's going to train and likely move north of Kansas City here in that slight risk region. And then we do have some thunderstorms there north of Des Moines, producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, 1.5-inch hail, and a possible tornado near Ames. But I actually think we've probably seen more severe weather activity in Oklahoma than we have in our enhanced risk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been one of the strangest flight risks that I may have ever tracked.
That is for sure. And yeah, the cell does look like it's getting messier, so hopefully that continues to be the case. Let's talk about this cell now, because this is really the only big thing to talk about. Comes to our velocities. This is kind of our areas of rotation. You'll notice the one near Meeker. That just flashed. Has that been allowed to expire? That's strange. Went away and then came back. Okay.
Yeah, that is strange.
Oh yeah, it's been allowed to expire. Been allowed to expire now. So that tornado warning there near Meeker is gone. We now just have a severe thunderstorm warning with this cell near Prague, which is not as aligned anymore. It's kind of more of a convergent flow now. It's not as aligned for rotation as it was. Still getting its act together. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning, 1 3/4-inch hail with that, and an extension to that with 1 3/4-inch hail. And now they have noted and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with the possibility of a tornado noted for Patton and Bully and Midway there in the state of Oklahoma. So the storm is spinning, and our spin is here, but the Weather Service is not convinced that that is enough spin for the production of a tornado as this moves towards Patton and Bully. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this is it. And Elliot, I am happy to report for the first time since the stream has started, there is not a single tornado warning in effect right now.
That is music to my ears, honestly.
Yes. For the love of all that is good. And now all those areas that were in a tornado warning, including Sparks, Meeker, Jacktown, Payson, now in a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1.5-inch hail. So I'm really hoping that our tornado threat has died down, but this latest frame does not have me optimistic on radar, as a couplet does look to be beginning to tighten east of Johnson near Prague. So right around here. So I'm not sure the cell is done just yet. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, please feel free to ask, and we'll be more than glad to answer them. That's what we're here for. And again, if you know anyone in Prague, Paden, or Boli, please give them a heads up. This looks rather serious. So we'll see what ends up happening there, but I think we've got a serious situation that could be going on there. I think a tornado might be starting to wrap up there. No tornado warning yet, but if I'm in Prague, Paden, or Boli, watch out. Because that could change soon. Very soon. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ask. If you know anyone in the risk area, send this to them, please. And if you can, like the stream to boost the algorithm. And you can also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. It lets us know that we're doing something right here.
Yeah, no, this does look like it is producing at least some sort of gust front in near Prague at the moment. So even if it's not tornadic, this thing does look to be producing some pretty high winds potentially near Prague.
Up to 70-mile-per-hour gusts in the latest severe thunderstorm warning there. Not the one for Prague, but the one there to the north and east there for Creek and Alkfusi counties. Yeah, that rotation remains relatively broad. So, and it looks like it's staying that way. So, let's see here. When it comes to this storm, it is traversing through the slight risk region. It's moving into the eastern end of it now, which is good. But since there are no tornado warnings currently in place, I want to talk about what the rest of the night looks like here, if I can, just for a second. So I'm going to turn on our severe weather outlook for tonight, courtesy of the Storm Prediction Center, and I'm going to use our high-resolution rapid refresh model to talk about what the remainder of the evening looks like. So starting here to the south in Oklahoma, this is valid as about half an hour ago. This is 11 o'clock. Now at 11 o'clock, we have storms moving through Tulsa. Our supercell there moving east, still in the slight risk region there, although it doesn't look as strong. And by around midnight, our cells really die down. So by midnight, the severe weather threat here in Oklahoma dies down. So that's good. When it comes to our severe weather threat in our slight enhanced risk regions, you'll notice here it moves through Des Moines, and Des Moines is in the clear from round 1. by the time we move in to around midnight, 1 a.m. There's another round here that's going to move through the enhanced risk. This is an overnight nocturnal round. So even though we haven't seen much in terms of severe storms yet, remain weather aware. There are going to be severe storms going up at around midnight in Kansas, with Lincoln, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln and Omaha getting impacted here around 3 a.m. It's going to move towards Wichita. The northern end of Wichita might get impacted around 5 a.m. As we move into around 7 a.m., that's when Kansas City could be impacted. Des Moines, Iowa getting impacted around 6 a.m. Cedar Rapids here around 8, 9 a.m. Sioux City getting hit here earlier in the night. And that enhanced risk region there, as we zoom into it, just to show some areas here. Patrice, Nebraska City getting hit by this around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. there. It's well into Nebraska City, and then it moves through like so. And this is us here around 7 a.m. Now, this isn't exact, so give or take 1 hour or so with these storms. But again, strong storms likely to move through as we head into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. You'll see new storms, renewed development there to the south. And that is for tomorrow's risk. If you want to learn more about tomorrow's risk, after the stream ends, you can actually watch my video on the topic. If you just go to Advective Weather, the video section, it's our latest video, and you can learn more about what tomorrow and Friday look like severe weather-wise as well, given the current circumstances. So that's what we're looking at there in terms of what storms are doing as we examine them for the overnight hours into tomorrow. As I take a look now at what's currently happening, as we go back, I'm going to turn off our outlooks. I'm going to turn back on our weather alerts. Severe thunderstorm warnings remain, although that looks like a suspiciously... Yeah, it looks like a bounded weak echo region, but the couplet there does not look too strong. And yeah, there's the new frame. So this doesn't look like it's able to organize that well. Let's hope it remains that way. I'm just going to take a look at some local conditions there. See what I can find. So it looks like our localized pocket of insanity, the storm has moved out of it. Looks like that capping inversion is now back and well in place. Wind shear is pretty good, but it does look as though our best conditions for strong tornadoes has passed. So that's good news, and this storm will pretty rapidly move out of whatever is left of those conditions here soon. So I think we're looking pretty good. I'm not going to let my guard down with this cell near Prague just yet. It is tightening up a little bit. This might have one last hurrah before we go, but the capping inversion is coming into place. Conditions are becoming less favorable for tornadoes. And you'll notice there, Elliot, that the reflectivity returns are getting stronger. So I think this is becoming more elevated with time. However, that does not mean it's completely elevated, and unfortunately a new tornado warning has just been issued, including Prague, Centerview, and Garden Grove. So,
just radar, what I wanted to hear.
I know, right? So it's radar indicated.
That is a good case with that.
Yes. It's near Garden Grove. It's not the end of the world. But if I'm in Prague, I'm getting to my safe place right now. So that's in Lincoln and Petaluma counties. A new tornado warning that's in place, and that is looking more robust now in the latest frame. Uh, Still no debris signature, but that does look somewhat robust, so still needs to be taken seriously. But a tornado and golf ball sized hail possible with that. That tornado warning in place until 11:30 p.m. It's for Prague and Centerview as this moves northeast at a whopping 10 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's definitely been a theme tonight with our storm's very slow movement in general.
So Belmont is going to be around June 8 minutes. Prague is going to be around June 27. I'd also like to note that they have 1 3/4 inch hail being possible with this thing. So let's just keep that in mind. And that velocity couplet does look robust, although we also have another couplet there south of Prague, with another little inflow notch thing kind of coming together. This thing could be trying to do a double again. I also do have unfortunate news now. A small but notable CC drop right over our couplet, 0.83, so very weak, but that is pretty much confirmation of a weak tornado at the very least on the ground there, just north of Garden Grove, heading towards Prague.
Indeed,
So,
and I believe that to be our slow mover.
yes. So, unfortunate situation there. Although in the latest velocity frame, the velocities have weakened. So hopefully this is just brief, and hopefully this rotation near Prague that's strengthening is also not really capable of consolidating, producing any tornado of some sort. But at this rate, given what's currently going on, we will remain on the air until 11 o'clock. Although, if things don't really escalate from this point, given the conditions, I think we will go off the air at 11. And Elliot, I know for you that means it's going to be nearing midnight, so if you need to go, you go when you need to.
Indeed, I have an exam tomorrow, so I think I'm going to hop off, actually.
Sounds good. I have a calculus exam myself, so that's always fun.
It has been a pleasure covering with you, Thomas.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope that our stream has helped everybody so far. And we look forward to seeing you on the channel again.
Absolutely the case. All right, well, with that being said, that was Elliot there, part of our team, who's been excellent tonight helping me cover the tornadic thunderstorms there. We do have, again, a circulation just north of Garden Grove, and now we have another one there. You can kind of see it near Prague, just south of Prague. So, two circulations to watch with this storm now, as it does move to the north and east. And again, these can move everywhere. So anywhere in the polygon needs to be taking shelter, even though I'm calling out specific cities where if it keeps going in the direction it's going, it will hit. So, again, we likely have a small, weak tornado on the ground just north of Garden Grove. And so basically what that means is, okay, it's not going to be something where we need to freak out, but get to the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room if you can, if you're in Garden Grove, Belmont, Prague, Centerview, because weak tornadoes, they can still break windows, they can still cause damage, they can still be life-threatening, especially if you're not away from windows and in an interior room. You're pretty safe from a weak tornado if you're in an interior room, but if you're not, they can sneak up on you. So again, just make sure that you're being safe there. That's generally a good idea. And then there near Prague, same general thing. Other thing is, this is at nighttime. So if you know anyone around here, call them, let them know there's a tornado that could be on the way. Also let them know about the stream. And if you're in these areas, again, just stay up, stay with us for a little while longer. We'll take you through this. We'll get you through it. You'll be okay. But yeah, it looks like we do have a smaller tornado just north of Garden Grove. Possibly, so. That's what we're currently looking at. And again, that rotation near Prague kind of strengthening a bit, but not overly strong. Let's see here. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns in chat, please feel free to ask, and we'll be more than glad to answer. And it does look like we have a few. So, major one just being, is the system starting to weaken? So, Oklahoma City, you're done. The cells to the north, done. This is weakening overall, this storm regime down south. The only storm that's of real danger still is this supercell. This has been the major cell of the night. It still has a strong, robust updraft. It's still looking like it's going to try and do something tornadic in nature for at least a little while longer. As we move north, we have some severe thunderstorms going up there. In Kansas, we have one there with a nice hook. That could be spinning. We have more supercells that are starting to go up there near Topeka, and then some near Des Moines as well. Those are going to weaken off here soon. However, we will have new thunderstorms that will fire around here, moving in this general direction, causing problems for this general area, including Lincoln, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Davenport. Then we can actually look at the Storm Prediction Center's risk. And there it is. Slight risk. This is where our storms are going to fire. They're going to march up like so, in kind of a line. They might actually march more like this through the overnight hours. But yes, the system in Oklahoma, or the storms in Oklahoma due to this system, are weakening. But the storm system itself is not. We have multiple days more, both tomorrow and Friday, of severe weather to track at this time. There it is. That rotation near Prague looks to be weakening. The rotation there to the south also looks to be weakening. So, assuming this doesn't come together in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to go at 11. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything of that nature, please feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, definitely going to want to be heading off to bed soon. Like I said, I am a college student. I have a Calculus 2 exam tomorrow, which I'm feeling okay about, but still need to get some good rest. That'd be good. But yeah, before I do, I'm just going to talk about this for a bit longer, and I will stay up. I will stay on the air with you if this does get big again, because, I do think that life-threatening situations are more important than my sleep schedule. I think most people would generally agree that if they could help with a life-threatening situation, that would be a bit more important than their sleep schedule. But alas, regardless, near Garden Grove, there's where a potential tornado would be. It's moving north and east here. Looks like our potential rotation here is dying down. So it looks like if we are going to get anything here with one last hurrah from this, it's going to be down south, but I think it's going to have a difficult time. I think this storm is going to have a difficult time dropping a tornado. So that's always good. Someone's saying, FYI, there's a hook forming there east of Manhattan, northeast of Manhattan. Saw that there, the one there near Louisville. It's this one right here. It's hooking up. This is in a less favorable environment for tornadoes, although again, non-zero threat. Velocity doesn't look too robust with it. No correlation coefficient drop either. But that is acknowledged that we could see this storm become a bigger threat with time. However, I'm not expecting that to produce anything like what we saw to the south in Oklahoma tonight, with a strong storm near Cole, then the one near Shawnee, and then hopefully this won't produce something near Prague. But this is some of the most insane storm behavior that I've seen in a long time from a storm. So definitely something to keep in mind there. But again, probably going off the air at 11 o'clock. So if you have any remaining questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to answer them. So let's see here. The circulation there to the east with that hook looks to really be dying down. The one near Prague, that's the one of bigger concern, but it still doesn't look too bad. So the one right here, just south of Prague, over here. But again, if you're in Garden Grove, Belmont, Prague, Centerview, you're in a tornado warning. You need to be in your safe place. That's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad, which is good. I like to be honest about that, but I also want you guys to know that you should still be in your tornado shelters if you can, because this could spin back up again. This storm has a history of producing strong tornadoes, and if that's not enough for you, then perhaps 2.5-inch hail is. Currently, you guys are in a severe thunderstorm warning for tennis ball sized hail. If that's not convincing for why you should probably be in your safe spot, I don't know what is, because that is happening. We know that's happening pretty much. We're pretty good about that. So, yeah, I'd be in my safe place right now, if I can be. Again, going off the air in 10 minutes, assuming all goes well. So, that's currently it. So Edmond, Oklahoma, we had someone ask a question about the time this will move through Edmond. Now, I'm not the greatest with Spanish, so I apologize if I misinterpreted your question. And if you can type it in English, even bad English, I might have a better time with that. Just a language barrier with me. Hopefully, I do hope to learn Spanish one day, which would be very helpful in situations like these. But again, I apologize. That's just a language barrier that I have. I'm not the most fluent in Spanish. But storms are through. You're done in Edmond. No worries there. No reason to stress in Edmond. And again, near Prague, there's that hook. But again, I think this is going to be a more elevated situation. So that's what we're looking at there with that situation. Again, 9 minutes until I'm off the air, assuming again all goes well, which I hope it does. We've got a kind of a surge now. This might actually be divergence. Should be really good. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but there's kind of a velocity uptick up here, so I feel like, and yeah, there it is. There it is. Haven't talked about this much, but when you see your storm kind of bend in this direction, that means that it's starting to become outflow dominant, not inflow dominant. There's not an inflow notch anymore, there's an outflow notch. There are winds backing this now. So this is what this means. Is there a tornado ongoing in this? I highly doubt it. I actually would, if I were a betting man, I'd say no. However, if you're in this warning, you still need to be in your safe place. Why? Well, firstly, you have tennis ball-sized hail, but secondly, there are going to be strong winds with this. Quite strong winds with this. Not overly far above the surface, just about 10,000 feet above the surface, we have winds of about 70 miles an hour, and those could get mixed down pretty quick. So, I'm anticipating that this is going to be a strong wind and hail threat now, from this point forward, really, as it slowly bows out, and then I expect that this updraft will likely begin to deteriorate as we head into the overnight hours. With that being said, we are going to go off the air at 11, again, assuming that nothing super bad happens, which I don't believe it will. I guess we don't know that. But assuming that nothing super bad happens, we will be off the air at 11 o'clock. That hook there near Manhattan has broken apart. Our storms in Kansas don't look too bad, and again, we just have that one remaining tornado warning with some pretty broken apart rotation there as this really begins to bow out. So I think the storm structure of this thing, it's lacking for tornadoes now. I think that our significant tornado threat has passed, and that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So no tornado warnings in place anymore. Good news. Again, this could drop another tornado or two, but I think that our big time tornado threat that we've been concerned about is de-escalating. So definitely good news there. But again, if you're in Prague, Pedin, or Boli, serious situation continues. And again, if anyone has any time to ask some questions, please ask them. I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, we're going to be off the air here shortly. So this is your last chance to ask some questions. But for those of you that have stayed throughout much of the stream, I do want to sincerely thank all of you for watching. It means a lot to have people that trust us and come to us as a reliable source of weather information. I saw over 40 people watching at one point, and it just means a lot that we're able to serve the community in this way. Myself and the rest of the Advective weather team, we're a bunch of really passionate college students who love meteorology and have loved it for a long time, and we've wanted to get ourselves out there to help in any way we can with disseminating information regarding strong to severe thunderstorms, winter weather, all kinds of stuff like that, and we finally have that outlet to do it. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Thank you guys for trusting us. I hope that we've served you well. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, ask them. I'll be happy to answer them. And I hope that I've been able to serve you well. If you have any feedback, things like that, you can give us that as well. You can also join our Discord server. I'm not sure if the link is in the description here, but I know that there is a link to it. Yes, there's a link in the description for our Discord server. If you want to join that, become a part of our weather community as well. And then coming up, we might have a video tomorrow as well regarding the severe weather threat. We made one today. If things look pretty similar, especially if they don't upgrade to an enhanced risk, we probably won't make a video tomorrow. Primary threats tomorrow are going to be through the south central United States, including New Orleans, Shreveport, stretching up to around St. Louis, strong winds, large hail. And then on Friday, we're going to see this move off the Gulf Coast finally. And so that should be the end of this 3-day severe weather episode. Someone asking in the chat, no, I do not speak Spanish. I speak a little bit. I'm not very good at it. So I can read what you're saying decently well. Speaking, though, not so great. Perhaps I should get better at that, and that would be good. That could actually be really good. We could have Spanish streams, perhaps, to help with that. 2-inch diameter hail with this, 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and a possible tornado tag here with the severe thunderstorm warning in Peyton and Bowley, but not for the one near Prague, as this rotation just continues to look rather lacking. So that's good news there for sure. Let's see. Edmond time, that's where kid lives. So, major thing here for Edmond, if you can understand what I'm saying somewhat reasonably. You are out of a risk. No risk, no severe storms. So, I believe the word for storms is tormentas in Spanish, so no tormentas en Edmond. I hope that that's helpful, but those are out. Those are out of here. So we're no longer worried about that. And then someone saying this. Yeah, I hope I do somewhat well with speaking foreign languages. I think it's kind of important that I know that stuff, especially since I'm supposed to be a public servant in situations like these. That radar signature actually is starting to look somewhat better there, but yeah, it's just an illusion. That's not looking too bad. Well, no tornado warnings in place. 2 minutes left. So while we have those 2 minutes left, I'm just going to do one last thing. Tonight, severe storms to continue through Oklahoma for the next hour or two, but this supercell will die down within the next hour or so. We will have these cells die down here within the next hour or so as well, the ones in Kansas and the ones here, and a line of storms will fire around 1 a.m., traversing all the way until around 7 a.m. through this entire region. Tomorrow, we're going to have strong to severe storms moving through the central United States. Turn off our alerts. I can turn on our day 2 severe weather outlook. And you can see there a slight risk for severe storms tomorrow, stretching all the way from Dallas-Fort Worth all the way up into the St. Louis area, with numerous severe thunderstorms expected stretching all the way through this area tomorrow in rather widespread fashion. However, these are not expected to be overly strong. And then finally, as we head into Friday, you'll notice there that the situation isn't overly dire. This moves off the coast as we head into Friday, with more stronger storms moving through, heading into the overnight hours in Mississippi. And that's the main things to talk about there. So we have a video that we came out with today that you can look at as well if you want to see what tomorrow and Friday look like severe weather-wise. But I do hope the stream was useful. If you liked the stream, hit the like button. If you really liked it, you can subscribe to the channel to get and turn on notifications for when things like this happen again. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I've really appreciated you guys being here. You can join our Discord server, link in the description. But I'm going to get going for the night here. That is my desktop. Here, we'll show this. I'm going to get going for the night here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was of use. Mason McCormick saying thank you there. You are welcome. I'm glad that I can help with this. And yeah, I hope to see you all in the next video, next stream, something like that. I'll keep an eye on this storm for a little bit. It does look to be wrapping up a little bit. And I'll be back on the air if I need to be. I don't anticipate it, though. So I'll see all of you in a future stream or a future video, hopefully. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.